And now, ladies and gentlemen, here they are, your 2015-2016 St. John Millets, starting with the reserves, a 6'2" guard from Freehold, New Jersey, a former New York Knick wearing number 2. Give it up for Chris Smith. From Windy City, a 6'9" power forward, hailing from Chicago, Illinois, wearing number 34, Keith Hayden. 6'6" small forward from Toronto, Ontario. He wears number 35. Oh, Famutini. Next up, 6'6" small forward from Wichita, Kansas. Wearing number 21, it is Darius G. Baby Holloman. From Brampton, Ontario, standing 6'2", this point guard wears number 10. Welcome, Jabs Newby. And a 6'8" power forward from Montreal, Quebec, our long-range bar, number 32, Evil C. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get loud for your starting 5. First up, he is a 6'11" center and shot blocker extraordinaire, the Minister of Defense. He comes to us from Pasadena, California, and UCLA, the Candyman, number 0, Anthony Stoller. A 6'5" small forward from Mobile, Alabama, via Tulane University. He's an NBL All-Star sharpshooter wearing number 23, the Master of Mayhem. Here's Johnny Mayhem. This 6'6" power forward was the NBL Canada MVP in 2012. He hails from Phoenix, Arizona, and attended Mesa Community College. Put your hands together. The entertainer, the showman, number 25, Gabe Freeman. Hailing from Poughkeepsie, New York, 6'3" point guard. Via Utica College, he wears number 15. Our NBL All-Star point guard goes by Doug Herring Jr. And rounding out our top 5, he's the NBL Canada all-time leader in scoring, multiple-time All-Star, 2014 League MVP from the University of Massachusetts. Welcome, our own AA, number 12, Anthony Anderson. Welcome to center court, the man of the mills, our very own Foreman George. All right, that music means it is time to hear from our head coach. Give it up for Mr. Rob Spahn. His assistants are Paul Vaughn, Randy Lotman, and the ambassador of sartorial elegance, Mr. Jim Palmer. The team's physiotherapist is Kathy Simon from LifeMark Physiotherapy. And tonight's officials are Matt Boyle, Jason Steele, and Nate Saunders. Spalding is your official basketball of the National Basketball League of Canada. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we ask that you please rise, remove your hats, and please join Matthew Martin for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love, in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the evening. If you've been here to Harbor Station for a basketball game, you know what to do. If not, we're going to explain it right now. We need you on your feet, stomping your feet, clapping your hands until the Mill Rats make their first basket. You are the sixth man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Stacy Atkinson, and back with me again on the broadcast tonight, Chris Woodside. Chris, glad to have you back.
Glad to be back, Stace. It's been a couple weeks here, been out on the road, but really glad to get back here. Watched the broadcast last night, live tweeted it. You guys did a great job. Glad to see Game 1 win, first ever Game 1 win for this franchise. Pretty good start. What do you say, Stace?
Yeah, well, one of the owners said monkey off our back. One of the monkeys off our back. Won Game 1 of a series. Last night's win, 126-98 over the Moncton Miracles. Moncton just really, the game in a nutshell, Chris, they struggled from the three-point line. 5 for 30 from the three-point line. Mill Rats 15 for 30. That was the ball game.
Absolutely, and that kind of undersells the defense and rebounding that we saw from the Mill Rats last night. Championship level defense. Guys really getting into it, saying we're going to stop these guys from getting in. No open looks. Really great to see.
Exactly. You definitely have to credit the Mill Rats defense for the poor shooting from Moncton, because like they're showing right there, they can knock them down from three. They've showed us all season long. They showed us in 11 out of the 12 games they can knock the three down.
Absolutely. So those that watched last night, don't expect it to be the same one night to the next. This Moncton team's going to come out full fire. Very similar. You were talking earlier, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, Game 1. San Antonio blew them out. Game 2, Oklahoma City take, and right now Mill Rats are trying to avoid that outcome.
Yeah, definitely. Right off the bat, 3-0 Moncton. Turnover by the Mill Rats, and foul on one end sends Granado to the line for a couple. Can put this to an early 5-0 start.
Yeah, and offensive rebound here in the first possession. I just talked about last game. It seemed like they didn't give up any offensive rebounds. I think for the game, it says they had 17. Most of those had to be in the second half because I wasn't counting any in the first half at home.
Yeah, you know, and what really stood out in the stat sheet from last night's game, obviously the threes, you know, 15 for 30 for the Millrats. Hard to beat a team that's knocking 15 threes down, but 45 made baskets total, and 31 of those were assisted on. 31 assists for the Millrats. That is just crazy.
That's great team basketball. It's what you want to see. 75% of your made baskets are off assists. It gets everybody in the game. Everyone's moving. Everybody knows there's going to be one more pass. We're going to get the best look. And nice little pass inside
to Stover. So many times you see, lob pass to Stover early in the game. A little bit of a jitters going on with Stover, I think, game early. He gets himself pumped up pretty good. He doesn't normally get that first shot to fall, but gets fouled and gets himself to the free throw line.
Well, it's good to get the big fella going early because you know what he brings on the defensive end. We're looking, I mean, there's no question this is going to be the defensive player of the year, Stacy. Over 4 blocks a game. Last night, amazing sequence, 2 blocks and a charge in the same play.
Same
I don't know that I've ever seen it.
That was phenomenal. Yeah, Stover gets 1 for 2. He sits the crowd down as normal here in St. John. They are on their feet, ringing the cowbells behind us and making all kinds of noise until the Millrats get their first point.
I think they must have heard you or something because they seem to be a little quieter tonight. And Moncton coming out, shooting the ball a lot better than the other night. I say that's pretty good defense there. Hand up, you got a guy taking a step back, hand in his face, long 2. Just knocked it down.
You know, if you're the Millrats, you want a lot of what you did last night. If you're Moncton, you don't want a lot of what you did last night, and you want to keep the Millrats from doing what they did well last night. A lot of open looks from the three-point line.
And right there is one of the things that Moncton did not do well last night, and that was a transition.
Terrell Tate. Wow, how many times do you see a team go from you get scored on to a 1-0 break at the other end?
Well, it's that quick transition. It's I like to call it the 2-clap mentality. Something happens, you're on to the next play right away. 1-2, next play.
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're old enough and you remember the Lakers of the '80s, you remember Kurt Rambis, how quickly the Lakers were scored on, and if 1 foot out of bounds, throw it to the other end and ignite that Laker fast break.
Lakers and Celtics both. That used to be a Celtics thing. There wasn't a guy to take the ball. That's if you were the closest one, you take the ball out.
Yeah.
And how many teams do that now? You seem to have you designate somebody to be the guy taking the ball out. So much more of a threat if anyone can take it out and you can just push the ball up the court.
Exactly. You know, this day and age.
And there we got a foul call there. I think on the follow through.
Yeah.
Got him in the head.
Blocked the shot, but got him with some body. Yeah, I actually got him on the head. You're right.
You know, a big thing for this Millrats team yesterday was the second unit. Can't stress that enough. Famu Timi and Chris Smith, other guys for sure, but those two seem to really stand out to me watching at home. Chris Smith almost a triple-double, 11 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists.
Yeah,
really changed the game.
Yeah, you know, like we said, we have to go back and watch that game. Yeah, I just have a hard time believing he only got 9 rebounds. I thought he was right around the 12 or 13 rebound mark there. So we're going to give him a triple-double, Chris.
I guess we can do that. The broadcast team power.
Yeah.
And you had a pretty big booth last night with George here and Steve sitting with you, Zach. Shout out to them. They did a great job.
Like a Stover coming from high.
Ooh, threw the elbow right up to the head there.
Oh, Gabe says, get that out of here. He blocked that.
That gets the crowd up off their feet.
They might need another basketball. He just knocked that one downtown.
Good to see. It looks like we got some more fans out here tonight. It was a little sparse last night. I guess they heard the Coach Spawn's call at the end of the game. Come on, St. John, get down here.
Yeah, a lot of it too, Chris, was probably back-to-back games, Wednesday night, a Thursday night game. They're choosing, okay, we're going to go to one of these. I'm going to take my kids out on a school night to one of these games. Which one's it going to be? You're probably leaning more towards the Thursday night game.
Sure.
But it's playoffs, if my kids were still in elementary school, middle school, I'd have them out till midnight to watch a playoff basketball game.
Absolutely. Johnny Mayhane a little off there.
And Anderson gives up the foul. Not happy with the call. And like I said last night's broadcast, Anthony, he might say something once every 5 games. So when he says something, he's probably got a beef. He's usually pretty quiet.
Absolutely. I think he's still a little upset. He got nailed right in the face, and I think that's what he's talking about down here. Remember when he was hustling after the ball? He got an elbow to the face. He's showing the ref, I got blood in my mouth here. Like, come on, guys, what happened? But you gotta move past that. Look, refs don't see everything in the game, and while you're busy worrying about what happened 3 plays ago, your team's scoring on you.
Well, as a referee, you've got a split second to make a decision. Was it a flop? Was it a true hit? Was it was there a foul on that play? You've got a split second. If you don't blow the whistle quick enough, it's kind of too late. You've got to.
Well, the whistles are blowing early here, calling the game close early.
Yeah, Gabe Freeman picks up his second foul. Announcer said it's first team fouls, but
that's been one of Gabe's weaknesses, I'd say, over the past few games. Achilles heel is getting into early foul trouble. Really limits his ability to play the way he likes to play, and as we know, he is Mr. Energy. He plays hard all the time.
He's going to guard. He's going to guard their best player, and give you 21 points a game.
Yeah, but he's got to do it without fouling so he can stay on the court.
Right. Great defense there, but just better
tough
offense
shot
by Freeman. tough shot.
See, Granado with the little love fake. I would have said before last night that there's no way he's shooting that, but he knocked down their first three of the game last time.
Yeah, that's right. They were 0 for 15, and before they got their first one, it was Granado that hit it. And hey,
nice
let's give
trail.
it to our 42% three-point shooter. Mayhane doesn't get it to go.
Just can't get it to fall.
Yeah, these guys, Chris, they're professional basketball players and professional coaches. They're going to make adjustments. They're not going to play bad one night and come in and play bad again. They're gonna make the necessary adjustments and corrections. What did St. John do well last night? Let's limit that. What did we do bad? Let's get better at that tonight. And you'll see the adjustments made here. It's not These teams face each other 12 times during the season. 2 of the games were blowouts, and the rest were, 10 games were close.
Well, the other part is, as Steve Clifford said, sometimes it's not about making adjustments. It's just about doing what you do and doing it better.
Yeah,
after they lost to Miami and Miami shot historically well in their game, he was asked, what are we going to do to change? You're like, well, that's kind of for the broadcasters, because for me, you're just going to do what we do and do it better.
Right. And you just saw Gabe Freeman pick up his 3rd foul. Looked like a player slipped to the floor. They got him for a push.
It'll be interesting to see if Coach Spahn sits him for the entire rest of the half.
Well, you don't want him going into the second half with 4 fouls, so he might very well do that, Chris. I wouldn't be surprised. Ricky Volsey into the game for him, so you're bringing in a 6'8" three-point shooter. Who passes the ball extremely well for a big guy from high-low. And
you're not losing a lot. you're just getting a different type of threat.
Right. So there's where that right there is where Coach Spahn has cleaned the turnovers off on this team. Doug Heron Jr. knocks a big three, a much-needed three, momentum-wise anyway. A lot of times Anthony's been double-teamed during the season, and guys weren't making themselves available. You just saw 2 guys run to an open spot and make themselves available when Anthony had an aggressive double-team at him. Didn't have to throw some kind of a lob pass to somebody semi-open on the other side of the floor. He found a wide-open Stover, who found a wide-open Doug Heron Jr., knocks down a 3.
Stover with a good bang-bang pass. that's what got the open three, making those quick passes. Young players need to think about that. How can I make that quick pass to change direction? Sometimes don't look for your shot. Just know I want to change direction from one side of the court to the other because I know they're overloaded here. We've got a double team on one side. If I move the ball quickly, it's going to get somebody open.
Right. When you talk about moving the basketball, Chris, you're moving the ball from one side of the floor to the other with 15-foot passes. Stover gets a nice, nifty little one to go. Thought he was shoved, but no call. Back to you're moving the basketball, you're making the defense work. The defense are the ones that are in a squat, on their toes, busting their butts, and the more you work the ball, the more tired they're getting as the game goes on. And with the deep bench of the Mill Rats, it's got to be in their favor the more they work the basketball early.
Absolutely, and we're here at the first media timeout, halfway through the first quarter, 12-11. Close game, just what we would expect, what I would have expected last night, really, Stacey. The big story for me is going to be no Gabe Freeman potentially for the rest of this half.
Yeah, definitely.
And how are the guys going to react? Guys have to play a little more minutes, and how will that ultimately affect them in the second half too? Because you've got guys playing extended minutes here in the first half. Are they prepared for that? How are their conditioning? And as you know, they're ready to play those extra minutes.
Yeah. You guys that Freeman struggled early with foul trouble yesterday. Only 9 shot attempts in the game yesterday. And he's a leading scorer on this team with 21 points a game. So he's averaging around 21 shot attempts a game probably, and the guys that come in last night did a fantastic job. Famutini, Chris Smith, like we said, triple-double last night. One rebound shy, but we're giving it to him. And Famutini come in with
21
points and 4 rebounds, and so a veteran squad here, Chris, and they pick up for players that are out. They step up their game. True professionals, James Justice into the game here from Moncton, Mr. Offense, microwave, Vinny Johnson we call him.
This guy can go off for 20 in a quarter. I mean, he has that type of ability, and you definitely got to keep an eye on him when he's out there on the court.
Yeah. And it's not just the offense. The defensive end, he brings it. It's nothing for him to get a couple steals a game, 2 or 3 steals a game, right around that top of that 3-point line, danger area. Somebody's got a dunk at the other end kind of thing. And there's Johnny
Mayhane. George asked you the other night after Johnny Mayhane missed the first few, hey, is he really that great shooter? And you said, oh, don't worry, he's about to knock it down.
You wait. He comes right back and knocks 2 in a row down from 3.
And that's what Johnny Mayhane does, 42% three-point shooter. I can guarantee you he can miss 10 and he's going to shoot the 11th one if he's open.
Yeah.
And that's the impact of Stover right there, right? Afraid to go up. You see the big fella coming through, get trapped, turnover.
Martin's a big guy. He's listed him at 6'8", probably about 6'9", or a strong 6'8", that's for sure. Runs into a wall of Stover. And that's another thing Coach Spahn has really cleaned up on, Chris, is the help side defense. They're doing a great job stopping the basketball, but when they are beat, wow.
Good follow there by Stover.
He even jumped a little early. The ball rolled around the rim, stayed on the rim a split second longer than he expected. I still got his hands on it and dunked the basketball.
Well, that's one of the things that makes Anthony Anderson so tough is, you see, he drew 2 defenders, and that's what left Stover free to just roll to the hoop, dunk on the miss.
Yeah.
And I remember last night I saw a couple times, you'd see 3, 4 guys on Anthony Anderson at all times. And I don't want to limit it to Double-A because we know Doug Herring Jr. does a lot of the same stuff.
Very similar.
Watching similar players when they're out there, and it's a difficult combo to guard.
Well, it's the backcourt and Doug Herring Jr. and Anderson are giving you 35 points, 14 assists a game. That's just from the starters, not counting the 1 and 2 guards that come in off the bench. So you're getting probably 50 points and 17, 18 assists a game out of your 1 and 2 guard. or some coaches call them the 1 and 3 guard. You're helping your point guard, but you know, out of your backcourt, you're getting a lot of points, a lot of assists, and hey, look,
some early minutes for Keith Gaten tonight.
I was just gonna say, you know, he played so well last night. He was getting man rebounds, setting man screens, and stopping guards off the dribble on switches last night. And coach says, "Hey, get your butt in there. You played phenomenal last night."
Well, just goes to show, right? Every minute counts, and Keith didn't get in. I don't think till the fourth quarter, if I remember, didn't get in at all. And he said, "Look, we're up 30. I want to earn time, and I'm going to come out here and work hard." And Coach Spahn rewarding that hard work. So kids watching at home, every minute you're on the court, whether it's 1 minute, 30 seconds, you need to make that the best possible 30 seconds it can be, no matter the time.
You know, Gaten lets that one go. You know, and another factor there too, Chris. Boltzy's usually the first sub for Stover because of foul trouble. Gaten's out, and it changes the rotation a little bit. And we're seeing Chris Smith, who, you know, Mr. Triple-Double last night.
And the crowd giving him a big hand, giving a combination of Johnny going out, but Chris Smith, see if he can continue on his hot streak from yesterday.
You know, at 6'2", gives you some rebounds sometimes over some 6'7", 6'8" guys, you know, and strong rebounds. He jumps well. When he gets his hands on the basketball, it's bang. This is my basketball. You're not getting it back.
He's a strong 6'2".
Yes. Yeah, Ricky Boltzy with.
Wow, that was well defended by Martin.
You know, Martin about 6'8", 6'9" himself.
Martin looked over to Coach Mokeski with a little Jordan shoulder shrug, like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, he's like, what do I do? I couldn't have been in his space any more than I was. And Boltzy, great defense there, straight up. Gets his body into the shooter, and you know, Gaten working hard in the post. What he's doing, he's drawing attention down there, and Boltzy says, "Hey, I just made one." You see that a lot with these Mill Rats, Chris. Guys make a 3 or 1 or 2 threes, and they
great finish by Martin.
You know, they want that ball back. They want to shoot another one. Wow,
well, they're all
pass.
such good shooters, and
great pass, Chris Smith. You know, the Mill Rats in transition, like you said earlier, Chris. You get them in transition, they are tough to stop. My theory was always a good team defensively is gonna have 2 guys sprinting back every single time. I want 3 and 4 guys sprinting on offense, and if we can push the ball, we're gonna create numbers. Hey, we got 4 guys running. And they do a great job of getting 3 guys back. We still outnumber them on a mini 4-on-3 break. You can get that to one side. You've got a 2-on-1 to one side, and
well, when you've got Doug Herring Jr., Anthony Anderson, and Chris Smith all on the floor at the same time, it's really tough to defend. You got 3 very good guards that can push the ball, push the tempo, all can finish at the rim, all pass the ball really well, and all can shoot. It puts a lot of pressure on that defense to get back.
Oh, it does, and you know, and these guys know how to run a fast break. They're sometimes, or most of the time, they are textbook perfect on their 2-on-1s. I don't pass the ball until you stop me, kind of thing. Draw the defense, and the trailer will a lot of times stay a bit behind the basketball, gives him a passing angle, and the 3-on-2s are run to perfection. The ball goes to the middle of the floor. You know, your ball goes to the middle of the floor, you see a pass fake, dish off to one side for a layup, or at worst, you know, a 3-point jump shot on a 3-on-2. Famatini into the game. Played phenomenal last night, Chris. I know you watched the game online.
Oh, absolutely.
And, you know, he, like I said, 4 rebounds, 21 points off the bench for Famatini. And
Keith Gaten with a big board, and that's what he's got to do when he's in the game.
Yeah.
Like, you're the biggest guy on the floor, strongest guy on the floor. You've got to own the rebounds.
Yeah, and he did. You know, that we call them man rebounds. Man rebounds. He gets up. He smacks the ball with the other hand so hard you think the ball's gonna bust in half, or the air come out of it. And James Justice, like we talked about, he can turn the game around in a hurry. We've seen that. We've witnessed that a few times.
Oh, absolutely. And smallest guy on the court, not afraid to go after anybody. And you can continue to see the hard hedge trap by Moncton, and so far it hasn't really been effective in forcing any turnovers with this high. We're just seeing open looks for the Mill Rats.
Yeah, like I said earlier, Coach Spawn has done a great job of negating those turnovers. The turnovers that he had before out of those aggressive double teams, the Mill Rats aren't turning the ball over anymore. Guys are making themselves available, and we don't have to throw that lob pass, like I said, to somebody that's semi-open, because now you're at a 4-second of a 5-second count.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd throw the hard double team every time myself in this group. I might like the show and go, but with so many shooters on this team and such good passers, when you're just giving them an advantage every time you put two. As soon as Anthony gets it out of his hands, that ball is swinging side to side, and we're getting good looks over and over again.
Yeah, and Gaden a little too aggressive on that hedge. Gets the bump on Dexter Strickland, and they are in the bonus. 2 shots from here on out. Rest of this quarter anyway for the Miracles.
It didn't come into play yesterday, but something to keep an eye on has been St. John's free throw shooting. It seems like the second half of the season, they've just been down. The first half, they were shooting 82% in the first half, probably first 20 games or so. And it's been down around 66, 65 the last two. Last night, 65% from the free throw line. Really that can come down to cost you if it's a close game.
Cordell Genty knocks the 15-footer down. So many times we've seen that this season. Genty, whether he's open or he's got a hand in his face, he's probably going to knock that down. You give him that opportunity. And
what a tough finish.
Wow, did you see the dunk attempt with James Justice had last night, Chris, going down the
Oh, my word. Might have been the best missed dunk I've seen.
That's what I said. It was probably the best.
He almost missed it and made it on the other hoop.
Yeah,
hit the rim so hard.
So hard, it was. Everybody stood up. I've never seen a crowd react to a missed dunk like they did last night. Especially the guy. He's about 5'8".
And he took off from just inside that
the dotted circle there.
Dash circle, 2 feet, and just he was hammering that one home. Like I said, the ball went. It was so fast and so hard for the video. I didn't even know it had gone the other direction until I just saw nobody reacting, and then someone bringing the ball back up court.
Yeah, well, it went out of camera view, so it flew in the air, 20 or 30 feet on the other side of center court.
Much better first half here for Moncton.
Hey, Mill Rats had 3 guys running hard, but so did Moncton. Negated that fast break. Famatini gets to the rim and finds an
open look for Volsey.
Doesn't miss many of those when he's wide open.
No.
And Moncton taking a little page out of St. John's book.
Oh, and just a mishandle by James Justice. Won't see too much of that. Nice way to protect the ball. Anthony Anderson pulls it away from the defender, brings it back through to get into a shooting pocket and finish strong.
And very frustrating for Moncton, to have a 4-on-1 break and mishandle, and then the Mill Rats, run out on the other end and score. And saying that, James Justice, like we talked about, there was times last night, Chris, where he at one point in the game he made 2 or 3 shots in a row. What was a factor on defense. He was getting in passing lanes, and then all of a sudden he was out of the game for like a 6-minute stretch. And we're like, where did James Justice go? He was responsible for getting them back in the game. They cut it to 11 points, and all of a sudden he's out, and Mill Rats are up to 20 again.
Well, Coach Mokeski knows his players better than we do, I guess, and I'm sure there's reasons behind. I think a lot of the difference wasn't necessarily James Justice coming in and out, but Chris Smith and Famutimi coming in for the Mill Rats was, in my opinion, one of the differences in the game yesterday. Those two brought just an unbelievable energy to the court. And we're sitting here first quarter, 25-23, close game. Coach Spahn, you're in the huddle. What are you saying, Stace?
I'm saying, guys, we were lucky on one end of the floor. They had a 4-on-1. They should have scored on that. All of a sudden, they're the team getting out on the fast break and beating us on the fast break. We're not sending the guys down the floor like we were last night. So, like we said, last night the difference in the game was so many makes from the three for the Mill Rats. Getting out in transition, Chris, like they did last night and Moncton was a bit, I'm not going to say on the lazy side, but one or two guys are getting back and 3 or 4 guys running for the Mill Rats. So.
Yeah, I think the big thing for me here in this quarter is we got to do a better job not fouling. All right, you're playing the defense you want to play. We're holding them to 34% shooting. I know the score is close, but we are certainly playing better offensively. We've got to stop sending them to the free throw line, give them that opportunity. Fortunate that they've only shot 4 for 8 from the free throw line, but we can't just keep sending them to the line. And an early foul, just as I say that, out front.
Out front, Chris Smith. Quarter starts again. The fouls go 0-0, so you're in the bonus when you hit 7. So no harm done except for Chris Smith picks up a personal foul, only his first one.
Well, that's one of the ones as a player, as a coach, you don't want them to call that because James Justice got the ball back.
Still had the ball. There was
it didn't affect the overall play. Did Chris Smith hit him in the arm? Yes. Did it affect the outcome of what was happening? I would say no.
Right. And there's so many plays in the game that you can referee as advantage, disadvantage, and there's no disadvantage. You'd be blowing the whistle all night long, and we'd be here till 10 o'clock at night before this game got over.
Great dive down there. You see Moncton using a little bit of St. John's out-of-bounds play from the baseline. They love that triangle set St. John does, and you see Moncton run it very well right there. Well, and there was a moment of what you've been talking about, not making yourself available to Anthony Anderson. And when he gets trapped and he's in the corner, he's got 4 defenders, right? You got the backcourt, you got the sideline, and the 2 defenders.
Yeah, and and sometimes setting a screen for Anderson, you're just inviting a double team. Anderson a lot of times does not need a screen. Doesn't need a screen to go by anybody in this league. If you screen for him, you're inviting the double team. Anderson's about 5'9", 5'10". You're sending 2 6'5" or 6'7" guys at him. That's tough to pass through in an aggressive double team like that. So. Wow, that was
a very quick 5.
I've seen three in the key calls go longer than that.
Wow. They just barely got out of their second screen action and called 5 seconds.
Anderson come off the screen, looked for the ball, and then he was blowing the whistle 5 seconds. Now he's counting in the backcourt.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from.
Wow.
But again, just next play here, right? Let's get out defensive end and see what we can set up. Good defense there, finishing it off with the rebound. Oh, great
pass and a great pump fake from Anderson.
Aired 2 guys.
Wow, if you're a referee and there's some discrepancy, look at your other officials and say, did you have it any other way? You watch an NBA game. If there's any kind of beef at all from a coach or a player, they look at the other officials and say, did you have it any other way? And a lot of times these officials aren't going to change the call unless you ask them. FIBA rules, referees, if you ask the official, then he can help you.
Yeah, I don't know anything to add to that one, Stacy. It's just kind of mind-boggling.
Now that, oh,
wow.
Goodness. And we watched another one off of Moncton, and stay Moncton ball.
You know, one of the things I mentioned yesterday, live tweeting the game, and I said is what I kind of like watching these games is there is no replay. You know, I really hate that last 2 minutes of a game in the NBA college where they're replaying everything, and my reasoning is there's calls wrong all game.
Right.
And they're going to even out. So why are we treating this last 2 minutes differently? And it just drags the game on to watch it. It gives teams extra timeouts. Look, let's just accept the referees aren't perfect, and they're not perfect all game. Every possession matters. Let's use the same human error at the last 2 minutes as we have for the first 46.
Yeah, you know, I guess the reason behind that is like you're right. There's calls missed all game that you just got to hope they even out. The last 2 minutes of the game, I guess, especially if the game's close, it's so crucial to get that call right. It could mean a loss or a win for a team. So, you know, I guess I agree with you. You know, let's not take 5 minutes every time there's a blown whistle in the last 2 minutes and extend this game a half an hour. But I like it in the way that they're getting the call right. The only thing I like them change in the NBA was they go to out of bounds only to see who it's out of bounds on. And in the replay, they can see that there's a foul. Well, if your job is to get the call right, and in the replay you see a foul, then you've got to change your call to a foul.
That's my point exactly. It just seems kind of ludicrous, really.
Yeah.
The game was played a long time before replay. I think it could be fine without it.
It was played a long time before there was even cameras.
You know? Wide open look. Got lucky there. Offensive rebound.
You know, nobody boxes him out, and
you know,
Doug Heron Jr. Look what I found. Famatini couldn't get it to go, and Anthony Stover says, "Give me that ball." Throws it out of bounds to an already out of bounds Famatini. Johnny Mahane into the game for Chris Smith.
You know, just a little sloppier here tonight. Not as crisp across the board. Certainly giving up more offensive rebounds. Just got to be a little crisper.
Well, you know, a technical foul on the bench.
And I think that's going to Chris Smith. He was pretty upset leaving the floor. Not sure about which one. Could be just a series of the calls that he kind of have felt haven't gone his way, and he let the referee know it the whole way down. He certainly earned it.
Yeah, he did. You know, that's on the bench. It's technical foul, one shot. They already had the ball. They'll get the ball at center court, and momentum. You know, two different games, Chris. Last night and tonight. You know, Coach McKeskey is hats off to him. He's made some changes, guys. This is what we needed to clean up on. They're playing a little harder here tonight. They're getting back
much harder.
They're getting back on defense better than they were last night. They're a little scrappier here tonight. A little bit of an edge to this Moncton team. So hats off to them. They're moving the basketball better. They're getting open looks from three now, as opposed to down 1 second on the shot clock with a hand in the face.
Well, great finish there over Anthony Silver. That's a tough finish. You got 6'11", arms up. Probably gets you up to about 9 feet there with the arms.
Yeah.
And loaded up over. But also to your point, Moncton knows this is a best-of-5 series. You go down 0-2, and you're digging yourself a hole that's pretty tough to get out of. Well, I'm not going to say impossible, but really, really difficult to come out of. Your job is to steal one. Yesterday is gone. Here's your chance now. And they're playing like they know this is a game we need.
Yeah, you steal one and you take over home court advantage. You know, next two games are in your court. You lose this game, like you said, there's a lot of pressure on you going back to Moncton. You lose the game and you're done, right? 29-25, Moncton with a 4-point lead. An illegal screen. Illegal screen. Mike Martin with the illegal screen up top. Moving. You know, last night, Chris, the screens were guys could move all they want, shove a knee in the thigh. It didn't matter. Really aggressive screens tonight. You blink when you're setting a screen and you're getting You're getting to moving screens.
Well, that's what happens when you have a different referee crew, right? Everyone, a lot of those calls are subjective, right? It's what do you think? And you've got to adjust as a player. Look, okay, last night we were allowed to move all around. Tonight they're calling that. So I've got to make sure I'm a little more stationary. And as a ball handler, I've got to give my screener time to set himself.
Right, you've got to adjust, like you said.
You know, often on a moving screen, it isn't necessarily the screener's fault. It's they're put in a spot because the guy went too soon.
He steps out of bounds, and Justice is saying, "Look, he just threw his chest down on my shoulder and shoved me out of bounds," and I think he's got a beep there, Chris.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I think he does have a beep as well, Stace.
Yeah, I think Ricky Volsey forced him out of bounds pretty aggressively, but he got away with it, stepped out of bounds, and like we said earlier, you're going to see a lot of missed calls. You just hope they even out. You'd hope if there's 15 missed calls or bad calls, you hope 10 doesn't go to one team and 5 to the other. You just hope it evens out a bit. And folks, like I said last night, we are Millrats broadcasters. We're hoping the Millrats.
Great backdoor cut and pass.
Volsey couldn't get it to go. We're hoping the Millrats win, but at the same time, we try to call the game as evenly as we can. If we see a bad call against Moncton, we'll point it out. If we see a bad call against St. John, we'll point it out. If we see a nice play either way, we'll point that out. And just try and not to be too biased, saying that, welcome to all the Moncton fans joining the broadcast here tonight. See at least 50 or so in attendance from Moncton, sitting behind the Moncton bench, cheering their team on.
All right, and in other games, Halifax Hurricanes currently trail 33-43, game 1 of their series against the Island. Right, yep, the PEI. Second quarter, halfway through.
And that's one playing 4. So 4 is up 10 points on Halifax home court. So
and if I'm correct, I don't think Halifax has lost to them this year. I think they've beat them every time they've played. We'll have our stats guy check that out, but I believe that Halifax has beat them every single time they've played.
Well, the old saying, Chris, you beat a team twice, it's hard to beat them the third time. You beat a team 11 times, it's hard to beat them the 12th, I guess.
What happens after the 11th time?
What happens after the 11th? You've got to win a game sometime.
What was the great speech there? They might be better than us on 9. Wow, just a volleyball spike. Anthony Stover.
Martin saying, wasn't that a goaltend? He's like, no, he still got it on the way up. That was still going up. Or maybe the referee said it didn't have a chance of going in. And but what I would like to see him do is you get that big mid on there, tap it to a teammate. Block it to a teammate, block it, so that you can go get it and not just hit it out of bounds and give them another possession.
A second 5-second call. I don't know that I've seen 2 5-second calls all year.
And that was about 3 seconds. So, so it evens out. We said, St. John got on a 5-second count. We counted about 3 seconds. And Moncton, that was about 3 seconds on a 5-second call. So
how many 5-second calls have you seen over the past month, Stacey?
Well, why haven't we seen a backcourt 8-second call yet if they're counting like that?
With the 8 seconds, they have the shot clock to help them.
Yeah, that's right. They're looking at, Damn,
off and run and get the ball up. Oh, bad pass
from Anderson. Wow, that was a controlled tip from Anderson.
Well, yeah, Anderson did everything he could just to get through the ball.
Just so it didn't go out of bounds. That was a chest pass topped about 65 miles per hour on the radar gun, and Anderson just got a hand on that.
The break was 3-0, and then became 3-on-1 with the bad pass, but still.
Granado's lines up a 3.
You know what?
The big fella can shoot the basketball.
He's looking over Coach Molkeski, says, give me the rock.
Give me some more shots.
I'm 2 for 2.
Yeah.
Stover's showing off some really good passing skills in the interior today. You've seen him hit guys on the backdoor cut. That one crossed the lane through traffic right to Holloman.
Yeah. And he's got some zip on that pass too.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of zip on that chest pass. You see him throw chest passes from the other end of the floor. 50 and 60-foot passes that don't lob. He can really get some zip, and he's got a good eye. Like he leads cutters well, and he sees the floor well when he gets the ball in the half court. So extended minutes for Stover tonight. Gabe Freeman early foul trouble, and he's looking to make the best of it. You give him extended minutes, he's going to get 10 block shots.
Well, absolutely, and he's showing an ability to see the floor. One of the nice things, I mean, he already can see over them. Obviously, 6'11", right? He's bigger than everyone else.
Right.
But when guys stand off you like that, you can really just see everything.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons. A lot of people will say Rajon Rondo is such a good passer, and he obviously sees the floor so well. But guys are 10 feet off him. If you give him 10 feet to see where to pass, he's going to find it.
Yeah. I always said, when Rondo played for the Celtics, the knock on him is he couldn't shoot the ball. So guys stayed 10 feet off him because he was so quick to go to the basket. But what they were doing was allowing him to pass the ball wherever and whenever he wanted.
Absolutely.
Because they were not pressuring the basketball. But, and if you wanted to go to the rim, he just went at you full speed, closed the gap, and then made a move and went by you. So you were better off. Even Steve Nash, Chris Paul, some of the best ball handlers in the NBA, it's been proven that if you get out and pressure the basketball, throw the odd double team at them, you're going to turn them over. For as good as they are, and you see it here with Anthony Anderson, as good as he is, he will get turnovers if you throw double teams at him, and you're aggressive. You're up in his shorts on defense. You just can't let guys like Anderson, like you said, Rajon Rondo, go wherever they want and pass wherever they want.
You've just got to make a decision as a team. What are we willing to give up? And so each coach asks themselves that question and they make that decision. For me, I'm not going to give the absolute best passer on the other team and the point guard free reign. And you see Coach Mokeski believes that too, as we're seeing hard double teams on Anderson every time. And yeah, they've passed out and we've got some open looks. And I even mentioned earlier, I don't know if I'd keep double teaming them. Well, now we're seeing here in the second quarter, they've forced some turnovers. And as far as the overall game, we're 32-32. So Coach Mokeski knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to last night, it was, at this time of the game, it was 12 to 14 point lead here. So.
Well, at this time of the game, you guys went into story time. At this point in time, it was such a blowout. You guys had a little story.
Game was getting boring. We had to talk about something else here.
Hopefully, George at home watching know I'm just playing around with him.
Good defense, Millrath. You're seeing aggressive double teams like on the other end. Everybody stopping the basketball and box out and rebound the basketball.
And Granado's 100% streak is over in the playoffs. Yeah. He needs a little more time to shoot. Doesn't want to be shooting quick there.
Yeah.
Good strong move by Anthony Stover. So often we see him just kind of lay it up in those situations, and all year we've been talking, just go strong and finish it. He was doing nothing but dunk there. Unless you foul him, he was dunking the ball there, and you love to see that.
Yeah, the whole Moncton bench wanted a block shot, but clearly there were two hands on one guy had a hand on one arm, another guy had a hand on the other arm. There might have been a guy blocking the shot, but he was pulled down to the floor pretty good there. Stover with some free throws.
And making them pay, knocking them both down.
Yeah.
I saw you tried the reverse jinx on him last night. Say he's going to miss both.
Yeah.
He went 1 for 2.
1 for 2, yeah. Oh, great defense.
He can't grab it. No, he can't touch
double
it.
Dribble, travel or double dribble, however they want to call that. But that started with Doug Heron Jr. He changed direction. He got his body back over in front of the ball and caused a turnover.
Well, it's one thing I've heard you say over and over and over, not just this year, last year. I mean, I've known you for longer than that, so for as long as I've known you, defense is easy, right? That's what you always say. Defense is easy. Get your body in front of the ball, and that's exactly what Doug Herring Jr. just did.
Doug Herring Jr. did, yeah. You don't have to be quick. You don't have to be super athletic. Some of the best defenders I've ever seen, even in the NBA, are guys that can barely dunk the basketball at 6'9", like Larry Bird. Larry Bird wasn't quick. He couldn't jump, but he had a really big heart, and he got his body in front of the ball all the time. You change direction, get your body back over in front of the ball, and you just seen, if you can rewind that, folks at home, if you can rewind that and you watch Doug Herring Jr., how he gets his body over in front of the ball, he caused a turnover.
Well, and that's really something we've seen, would you say, over the last 10 games with this Milrads team, is doing a much better job being conscious about staying in front of the ball and really just buying into that team concept of, look, defense matters and rebounding matters. We can score 109 points a game. We got scores. Everyone on this team can score. They're the only team in the league with 7 guys averaging double figures. They can score. The only thing keeping this team from winning a championship is how hard are they going to play defense, and they seem to have bought in.
They have. They bought into Coach Spahn saying, guys, we're not going to win unless we play D. I can honestly say the first 30 games out of the 40 this season, I would put the Milrads defense, I would call it like pylon defense or Olay defense, and it was like whoever wanted to drive to the hole, drove to the hole. Now guys are getting stopped up the dribble, forced to pass the basketball. Anderson splits the double team, finds a Herring Jr., and Mayheim lines up a brick.
Good closeout there. Not to make it an easy look for Mayheim, coming all the way from underneath. Tyrell Tate forced Mayheim to rush just a little bit.
And folks, that is a jump ball. Possession goes to the Milrads, arrows to the Milrads. So you shoot up a brick, get stuck on the rim, and you get the ball back.
We'll get to run one of our bounce plays. Let's see how fast this 5 seconds is. Wow, that was a hard foul.
Yeah, we got some tempers flaring. We got playoffs. And Granado, I don't know about you, Chris, but I wouldn't be in Granado's face. He's a pretty big guy.
Last night you talked about Keith Gaden and how he needed to provide some of that muscle for this team.
Yeah, and Famotini getting set to check in the game, and it's nothing malicious. It's a basketball play.
Absolutely.
He went for the block shot and got his arm, knocked him to the floor. Well, you got 6'10", 260-pound Granado, and you got 6'3", 205-pound Doug Herring Jr. You're going to fall down. You're going to get knocked to the floor, and that's all that was.
No, I didn't see anything malicious there, but also, you know what? That's one of your best players.
Yeah, he's sticking up for your players. Nothing wrong with that.
You see him get hit and go hard, you're going to stick up, and Garius isn't going to watch as that goes. I'd like to see that out of my team. Good job from the bench. You see both benches. Nobody left the benches. They're up talking, but it didn't escalate. Everyone said their words, got those out, and
you just saw teammates sticking up for teammates. Anthony Stover had a couple things to say. He said, "Look, that."
And referees get together, talk it over, and now they're going to bring the coaches in and share what they have to say. So referee, looks like they're saying going to call the foul, an unsportsmanlike foul. You'll get the 2 free throws. Also, we got a technical foul on Famotini not Famotini, G-Baby. Gary Solomon giving him the technical foul.
So it'll be two shots here. 1 shot for Moncton, and then Milrads basketball Moncton basketball at center court, I believe.
Yeah, and I think they're calling it the unsportsmanlike because of the follow-through, is how the referee explained it to the coaches here. The follow-through. Also, I think sometimes you call it that because of the result.
It doesn't happen again.
At the end of the game, last game, there was a
preventive maintenance.
They did the same thing. We had a foul, looked like a normal foul, and I believe it was Famutimi who had the foul there last night, and they called it an unsportsmanlike foul, and because the player fell down on the ground, hit hard. Sometimes you see the end result leads to the referees saying, "Look, we're just gonna." Nip this in the bud.
Nip it in the bud. Like we always say as coaches, preventive maintenance from the referee. He doesn't want it to escalate. If he doesn't call it, the next foul is going to be even harder, and then that one's going to be a flagrant foul, an unsportsmanlike foul.
And we talk about tempers flaring. Look, you play a team 10 times 11 times, 12 times.
You know each other pretty well.
There is inevitable that you're going to have some things that get underneath your skin.
Yeah, you're making a rivalry for sure.
And Granado is one of those guys that will get underneath your skin.
Yeah.
Love him. He's a guy I would love to have on my team.
Oh, no question.
Tough as nails. Does a ton of stuff. But when he's not on your team, he's the guy that you don't want
any backing down. Especially for your big guy, your 6'10", 260-pound guy. You don't want any backing down.
No, absolutely not.
If somebody's got an easy shot, you want him to knock him to the floor. Try to do it in a way that you're not getting the flagrant, but be aggressive, be strong.
Well, like you said, I don't think he went. He went for the ball. He just hit him hard.
Yeah. And Millrats basketball.
Yes, Millrats basketball. Because of the unsportsmanlike foul, it's theirs.
Yeah.
Technically, you just get the free throw, not necessarily the free throw in the ball if it's the other team's ball.
36-33, folks. After that all was all said and done.
I feel like I just took a test.
4 minutes, 20 seconds to go here in the second quarter, and a much closer game than what it was last night. I got to say, Moncton doing a much better job, Chris, defending, running guys off the three-point line, and I say that, and Famotini gets a three, couldn't get it to go. Credit Martin, good hand pressure.
Well, and part of the game is St. John's not able to get out and run as much as they did last night. So they're not getting easy buckets, so now you're in the half court. Your defense is always going to be a lot better in the half court than it is in transition.
Well, saying that defensively, Moncton cleaned things up, but offensively, they've cleaned things up, obviously. And it is harder to get out and run when you're throwing the ball out of bounds, and as opposed to getting a steal or getting that long rebound.
Great ball movement. Doug was almost too unselfish there. I would have liked to seen him take it. He was wide open. There was nobody within 5 feet of either direction, and I know what he's trying to do. You get it out to your 42% shooter in Johnny Mayhane, but I think that was a time where Doug should have pulled the trigger.
Well, I was going to say earlier, Mayhane's 42% from the three, 43% leading the league from the three-point line, and it's almost caused him to shoot a couple extra threes a game, and those couple extra threes are under great duress, great hand pressure. I'd like to see him change it up a little bit, show that ball and go by, like you just saw him do there. He does that a couple times a game, and I think the next couple three-point shots are a little more wide open. They don't
slow the closeout, right? The defense can't close out as aggressively if you have the threat of driving by them. They have to start their short, choppy steps a little earlier, just because they got to respect your drive.
Yeah, exactly. And we've seen Gabe Freeman do that as the season went on. He went from, showing that ball a couple more times a game and driving by, and that made his three-point shots a little more wide open as the game went on. I think we see that out of Johnny Mayhane. He'll keep that percentage at 42% because he's getting better looks.
And that's something else to consider here in this game. We haven't seen Gabe, right? Gabe's played 4 minutes in this game. We have a 37-33 lead. Great and one finish by Stover. Big fella showing some offensive prowess today.
Don't get the big fella mad because he gets a little more giddy up in his step. He runs a little faster, he jumps a little higher, and he blocks a couple more shots when you get him riled up. So you wake up a sleeping giant, and
if he decides he doesn't want to play basketball anymore, I bet there's tons of volleyball coaches here in Canada that would love to take him.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's a big sport over here, right? The men's volleyball team.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But we don't want to see him with a pair of skates on.
No.
No, you put him up to about 7'3" with a pair of skates on.
Good defense there, hand pressure, just a better shot.
Yeah, Tyrell Tate knocks it down with great hand pressure there. Good defense, better offense, we call that, right, Chris?
Yep, we'll take that.
Anderson constantly putting pressure on.
I really like what Anderson has done here late is instead of allowing that double team, he's just splitting it. He's splitting it and going directly behind the back of his screener. The last 2 times they've tried to bring the double team, he's done the split.
Hey, contested jump shot, box out, and get out and run. Yeah. Now I was talking about Anderson. He constantly putting pressure on the defense, and this guy with the basketball, Doug Herring Jr., same thing. Constantly probing, constantly taking what the defense gives them, and.
Well, you've got 3 on the floor now. You had Chris Smith that can do a lot of the same things as well.
Wow, great move.
Yep.
Tydran Beatty.
And that's how you negate a shot blocker. You go into his body.
Yeah, you go into his body and knock him off balance. You keep him flat-footed on his heels or whatever you want to say, and it gives you the wide open shot. Beatty's an athlete. And he's trying to get the same thing on that end of the floor.
That's a $5,000 fine right there. That was a flop and a half.
Yeah. The referee telling him right now, too.
Tydran Beatty, you're going to get a call from the commissioner's office tomorrow. $5,000. James Harden would be proud. Nice little thing. I don't know, well, you can't see it here on the TV, but see the referee doing a good job talking to the player, explaining out why there was or was not a foul there, and player took what he had and went out. I thought it was nice to see. Sometimes you see referees, they have no interest in talking to you.
Right, and that just, the best thing you can do as an official is, or as an official to a coach, is explain your call, get them calmed down, and so yeah, like you said, Chris, some referees think you shouldn't talk to a coach or a player at all, and I think that's
great
wrong.
Pass and finish there, Doug. You talk about how they run the break. Every time guys fill the correct lanes.
Right.
Always give space.
Textbook perfect fast break.
All right, here we go. Nice take. 42 seconds to go. Island Storm.
2-for-1 for the Mill Rats. And
Donnie May.
About 30 seconds left in the quarter. Now we got a foul out top by Anderson, and they are
had a foul to
bonus.
give. Nope, I think they had a foul to give there. Coach Mokeski going to take a timeout here. Just got an update on that Island Storm game. First half, 58-42. Island Storm lead.
Shocker.
Great first half here going up against Halifax in Halifax. Game 1 of that playoff series.
Wow.
Island Storm coach just a few days ago talked about wanting to get this 3rd seed, get the Moncton seed so they could come up against this Mill Rats team, and unfortunately they didn't end up in the 4th spot, but playing like they belong tonight.
Chris, these guys are professional basketball players. At any given night, can light it up from the 3-point line, can light it up from 2. Any given night, you can also go cold. 58-42 lead, 16-point lead for the Island Storm. So, thank you, Briar, for keeping us updated on that series going on. But we don't want to look too far ahead.
Oh, absolutely not.
Got a series here with Moncton.
Just in case our fans are curious, that's what's going on in our other games. We're looking at 49-38 here. It was 32-32.
Like
17-6 run.
Like you said earlier, Gabe Freeman picks up a quick 3 fouls. Really hasn't played in this first half. Guys come in off the bench and they pick up for him. Gabe's 21 points, 10 rebounds a game. Leads his team in scoring and rebounding. And not to mention all the tips and deflections and the hustle plays and guarding their best player on the floor. So Mill Rats, kudos to them. Good job. 11-point lead here with 29 seconds to go in the second quarter.
And Gabe hasn't been on the floor here more than 4 minutes, but I bet he's gotten just as many steps because he's on the sideline pacing up and down, throwing out his thoughts. You can always count on Gabe to provide his own coaching insight throughout the time he is on the bench. And I asked groups the other day, if you're a player, what are you bringing to your team when you're not on the floor? Because great players, great leaders bring something to their team even when they're not playing.
Yeah, and Gaden in for Stover, you're thinking like, well, okay, why are you taking the shot blocker with 30 last possession of the game pretty much here? But Coach Spahn doing that because he doesn't want Stover to pick up a third foul.
But leaving Anthony Anderson in, who has 3 fouls.
Yeah, well, if there's anybody you can trust, now you're on offense.
Now you're on offense, you're not worried about it. But
probably not going to get an offensive foul here, not likely, but I'm not sure what we got a delay of game warning, Moncton.
Great defense
12 seconds left here. Millrat's obviously holding for one shot. You want to attack the basket with about 4 seconds to go, not let the opposing team have enough time to attack you on the other
Doug
side.
Herring Jr.
Textbook.
You know what I really like? He went away from the screen. I don't necessarily like bringing the screen on late situations. You're bringing an extra defender to guard the ball, but he negated that defender by going away from it.
He shunned it off, and away he went. Like I said, textbook, perfect. He released that ball with about 1 second on the clock. By the time Moncton inbounded it, half was over. We talk about the Millrats all season long, Chris. Closing quarters, closing games, doing the right things when it comes time and score situation. You got players like Doug Herring Jr. and Anthony Anderson. You get the ball in their hands, the right thing's going to happen. The ball's going to be shot at the right times. It's going to be passed at the right times, and.
They finished that whole quarter strong. Like I said, it was tied 32-32, 19-6 run to end the quarter. So you're sitting here with a 13-point lead going into half with one of your top players, 4 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Your as I said, leading scorer, leading rebounder, played 4 minutes, and you can lead by 13. Coach Spahn's got to be happy with the defense overall and pushing out the ball, getting good offense.
Yeah, definitely. Always nice to see. Always nice to see, like, what Coach Spahn's going to do coming out second half. Watch Coach McKeskey's going to come out doing. Yesterday's game was a bit of a chess match there for a while. Checkmate went to Coach Spahn, went to the Millrats. Always nice to see what they're going to do, folks. Here at halftime show here. With the Millrats, you're looking at Eric Cruikshank. Air Canada, Eric Cruikshank played with the Millrats last year and for a couple years. Very big with an organization, bench bullying, anti-bullying. Hope you pay attention to what he's got going on here, and we'll come back with some halftime stats here in about 10 minutes.
I thought I'd come by and I'd talk for a couple of minutes about what I've been doing to represent the St. John Millrats as well as the community. After I left here, I started my own movement. The movement that I started is called bench bullying. When you're not playing good in sports, when you're not playing good in class, the teacher sits down and talks to you, or the coach puts you on a bench. So with bullying, it's never okay, so we're going to bench bullying forever. That's the cause of my movement. As you can see, bullying take places everywhere. We just saw a foul tonight that wasn't okay, and it was a bad act from the other team. I'm sorry, I love you guys, but we have to put a stop to that. So my company, I started in August, is now in 190 countries around the world. And what I do is I go to schools all over Northern America, and I talk about anti-bullying and how it's not okay to bully. But it's not just a show. It's entertaining, because we got to understand, in order to engage with children, we have to become one of them and actually let them know that we understand what they're dealing with. So before I leave, I would like everybody, if you're capable, to stand to your feet. Everybody, please, everybody, stand to your feet. Stand to your feet. Now, can you hold this mic, please? Every time I take this arm, and cross it over this arm, I want everybody to clap one time, okay? Let's try it. got it. They got it. I said, every time I take my arm over this arm, you clap. Let's try again, because you messed up. Here it is. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's how you play the game. I'm going to do that 5 times. If you clap when you're not supposed to, I want you to sit down in your seat. I'm going to do it 5 times. Are you guys ready? If you're ready, give me a oh yeah. Okay, here it is, here it is. Ready? Now, if I cross and you don't clap, you have to sit down. And if I cross, you don't clap, you're out. If I do this and you clap, you're out, okay? Here it is. Don't. Damn, where everybody go? Okay, 4 more. Stand up, we're gonna do it again. Come on, I feel bad, you guys. Here it is, ready? Pay attention, people. If you clap, sit down, don't cheat, don't cheat. 4 more times, here we go. Oh, I'm sorry. 3 more times, here we go. Two more times, here we go. It has to be nice and loud, like you lost your puppy. Ready, here we go. Last time. All the adults are sitting down already. Here you go. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, last thing before I go, we have bench bullying hoodies are going on sale right now until after the game. I'm going to be up there and I'm going to be signing autographs on top of the hoodies. They're $40 and they're going to the movement. We also have license plates up there. They're $10 and we need everybody in here. If you can support the movement by following me on Facebook or go to bench-bullying.com and you can follow the movement. But thank you so much and I love you all.
So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric.
Go Millats.
Eric Crookshank, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, you can please visit the merchandise booth on the concourse to pick up some bench bullying gear and support this great cause. And ladies and gentlemen, do you suffer from tendonitis, bursitis, or back pain? Shepherd Chiropractic offers non-invasive laser surgery as well as chiropractic care. Once again, non-invasive laser therapy as well as chiropractic care. Call today and mention this ad and receive a complimentary assessment. With convenient locations in St. John and Rothsay, Shepherd Chiropractic can help you feel your best.
It's awesome, man.
But you got to remember what team you really play for. That's your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sister. And we want to be a part of something that's authentic. And when it's authentic, man, it can't be duplicated or fabricated.
Crossovers ahead, right to the rim, yes! Number one back to the basketball tournament. Team 23, Hazak Andrews. What up, son? Great pass to Sinakis, lays it up and in, and Doreen lives to play
bit like March Madness in August, World Series of Poker, Fantasy League. It's got everything.
Are you kidding me?
Tempers flaring.
You win, you continue. You don't compete, you go home. It's awesome.
And ladies and gentlemen, fans, we need your help right now. Go to www.millratsbasketball.ca on your smartphones, or when you get home, and vote for Team Millrats in the basketball tournament. You can win up to $20,000 cash just for voting. We need your vote to get in that tournament. Folks, sign-ups are open for the Millrats Summer Camp this July 5th through the 8th right here on the Harbor Station floor. You can sign up now at millratsbasketball.ca. And we're still in halftime. Don't forget that the merchandise booth has got their big end-of-season sale going on right now. T-shirts, just $5. The merchandise booth is also where you can sign up and still find out if they've got any seats left on the fan bus.
All right, folks, Chris Woodside here, back with you. Just going to give you a few numbers, halftime stats. Millrats, some balanced scoring. You see Johnny Mayhane, Anthony Stover, Doug Herring Jr., all with 11 points apiece, followed by Ricky Volsey with 7, Anthony Anderson with 5, and then Garius Holloman, Chris Smith, and Gabe Freeman all with 2. For Moncton, they're being led by James Justice, no surprise there, with 8. And Tyrell Tate and Dexter Strickland with 7 apiece. Next for them would be Thomas Granado with 4, Sean Van Zant with 3, Tydron Beatty with 2, as well as Cordell Gente and Mike Martin. Some big things we're seeing here. We have 7 offensive rebounds for the Moncton Miracles, 21 defensive, 28 overall. For the Millrats, 5 offensive rebounds, 27 defensive, 32 overall. We said we're going to keep track of that offensive rebounding. And keeping them off the offensive glass was one of the Millrats' #1 goals for the game, things that are make the difference. Free throws, Millrats 12 for 18 from the free throw line, while the Miracles are 7 for 12. Overall from the field, Millrats shooting 17 for 40 for a 42%, 5 for 16 from 3, so not shooting that 50% as yesterday, but back to the norm, 30%. We'll see Moncton shooting 13 for 42 overall for 31%, 5 for 18 from the three-point line, 27%, still not there season average, but much better than last night for sure. And total free throw percentage, 7 for 12, 58% for Moncton. We see a 12 assist on those 17 made baskets for the Mill Rats. Great team basketball, exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the game. They assisted on 75% of their shots yesterday and continuing the trend today, which is really good to see. On the other side, you're seeing Moncton with 9 assists to 10 turnovers. And I didn't mention, but St. John with only 5 turnovers. Really like to see when St. John can keep it under double-digit turnovers. I feel like any game they can keep it under double-digit in the turnover area is a game they're going to win. So here we're at, about to start the second half, 51-38. And be interesting to see any changes we might have. Stacy, any thoughts on some changes we might see from Moncton here in the second half?
You know, Chris, I think they came to play tonight. Moncton came to play. They've made some adjustments from last night. Played pretty well in the first half. St. John went on a little run there the last 2 or 3 minutes of that quarter and pushed what was, a 1, 2, 3 point game really that entire first half to 11 points. So the score indicative of how close that first half really was.
Absolutely. I'm going to be interested to see how Gabe plays here. You know, sometimes when you've sat for so long and you're such a good player, you're really antsy to be out there, and it's important that he doesn't come out and get a fourth foul real quickly by just trying too hard.
Yeah, just, pick that one up real quick. Gabe's a smart guy. Basketball IQ is very high, and he'll do the things he needs to do to stay out of foul trouble, I'm sure.
And
This is why they need him. I say that, and offensive interference. The ball was on the rim, and he grabbed the net. Didn't try to grab the net. Just
great look again by Stover, showing his ability to see the floor. Ball was only in his hands half a second, and he was already getting rid of it to Gabe. Gabe just unable to finish.
What I really liked, Chris, was how the Mill Rats came out of that locker room at the end of the half. A lot of joking around, a lot of kind of clowning around a little bit, and just really relaxed. I look down at the other end of the floor, Moncton players, nobody smiling, nobody talking to each other, going through the motion, shooting a couple layups kind of thing. And
air ball there from Granado.
Yeah.
Coach Knight had a great comment about game face, right? Like, what does that mean, And he did his great show of different faces, and so it's hard to tell what each player needs for their team. Do you come out with really serious or can you be joking? And every coach is different on what they feel. Some of you talked about how they're out there joking. They would hate that. And others are open to that. So
my coaching philosophy was always in practice. I was a really strict coach. Look upstairs at Stover there. I was a really strict coach as far as how you acted in my practice. If you were laughing in practice or smiling in practice, you were having fun, and you were having fun in the wrong ways. Your fun in basketball is blocking shots, getting stops, scoring. That's how I want you in my practice. But saying that, in games, warm-ups, half times, and whatnot, I want my players to be relaxed. I wanted that joking around. I wanted smiles on faces. You're serious when the ball is thrown in the second half, or the ball's tossed at the start of the game. That's when you put your serious face back on, and your enjoyment in a basketball game, like I said, is blocking a shot or getting a rebound or getting a defensive stop or a score. That's your fun in the game. But like I said, they came out, they were very relaxed, joking around with each other.
Absolutely.
And I like to see that. You've seen that out of the Red Sox the first time they won the
chicken and beer.
The first time they won the championship. After 100 years, you've seen a great camaraderie on the bench, in the dugout. You've seen a lot of joking around in between plays and whatnot, and you've seen them win a World Series, because they had a nice, relaxed team.
And Gabe with a nice drive there to get the and one. He's itching to get going. He really had 2 tough games to start off here. Foul trouble yesterday. Fortunately, they just blew the game away. Only 5 points for him yesterday, and foul trouble here tonight to only play 4 or 5 minutes here in the first half.
Yeah, and he's
officially 4:42 here in the first half.
And he's right at his series average by 8 points.
But that just shows how dangerous this Millrats team is. I mean, we got 7 players that can score double figures. You know what? If it's not going for you on that night, you don't need to stress about that. All you need to worry about is, hey, I'm going to play defense and rebound because I know my guys are going to pick me up.
Exactly. You know, and we were talking defense and stopping the basketball in the first half, Chris, and how easy it is to be a good defender. You just got to get your body in front of the ball. But Dexter Strickland went left, and he crossed that over to his right hand about 120 miles per hour and got to the lane. Now, I say sometimes it's easy to be a good defender, get your body in front of the ball, but when you got somebody that quick, changing direction that fast, it's not so easy.
It's a chess game out there. You know, defense, offense. Offense knows what they want to do. Defense, you're just trying to take away what's the number one option. Like, decided before game, what are we going to take away from this guy? And you know what, if they get their counter move, well, okay, but you've taken away their go-to move or their go-to play. I mean, that's what I always look at as coaching is, what can we take away? Like, what are we absolutely going to say, this we're not allowing?
Wow, great recovery from the Millrats there on that defensive end to take what looked like an open layup. And I believe it was Doug Heron Jr. got swatted it out of bounds to save 2 points for his team. But the extra effort.
The 5-second count's being a little longer here in the second half on that first one.
yeah, there. Oh, and James Justice bullies his way to the rim.
And we're seeing him start here in the second half. He didn't start the first half. Not sure. You and I both questioned, you know, why isn't he starting to the eye test? I mean, he's their best offensive player.
Yeah.
To the eye test, he's the best offensive player. So, you know, he certainly needs to be in the game. And Stover
avoiding
a good finish. I'm not going to call it a strong finish, but a good finish.
Well, you know, he had all intentions of going all the way to the rim, and Anthony Anderson was laying on the floor. He had to step over.
And then a great block.
Great block. Not so great an outlet pass.
I'm not sure he even saw James Justice. He's so high up and James is so low. All he saw was big eyes thinking about dunk. And as we know, James Justice can get up.
He can. And speaking of getting up, Anthony Stover skies for the rebound. Anderson looks to get out and run. And Anthony says, well, you created a switch. You got Granado guarding you from the wing. You're going to go to the basket.
Absolutely. You know, we talked about earlier, one of the things about Anthony is he's not the fastest guy on the court. He's probably not even the quickest guy on the court. But, man, does he know how to change speeds to get by guys and get guys off balance. He always stays low and loaded to the ground.
Yeah, it's like that knuckleballer pitcher in baseball, isn't it?
And he has great footwork. Great footwork. You know, we don't talk enough about footwork, which is surprising with the pair of us. But, you know, I feel like we don't talk about it enough. And it's the basis for everything you do.
Yeah. Well, I remember...
great. This little
great out-of-bounds play to
backdoor screen. And again, when Anthony Anderson is setting back screens, it is very difficult for the defense to decide what to do because they have to think, do I leave Anderson? And that half-second thinking, Gabe Freeman's running by you, and he's getting a wide-open layup on the backside.
Yeah, back to your footwork. A little story on that at sign-ups for minor basketball, grade 3 through 6.
Yeah.
Had a girl come in. She was about 5'9". She was actually in grade 5. Never played before, and the mother said she has never played before, but she wants to try it. The only thing she's ever done was dance class. I said, perfect. She's a dancer. She's already got great footwork, and she's a foot taller than any other kid signing up in grade 5. She's got fantastic footwork already. She's going to be a good. I can tell you that right now. She's going to be a good basketball player. She's never touched the ball before. She became, by the end of grade 6, one of the best grade 6 female players that I had ever coached, that I had ever witnessed. She was dunking the basketball with 2 hands on the 8.5-foot rims, which is tough to do for a 6-foot guy that's in grade 10 or 11, you know, because you've got to get your hand up about 9 feet in the air to dunk that ball down through. Of course, in Canada, they play on the 8.5-foot rims in the smaller basketballs at that level. she was hammering it down with two hands, and sometimes throwing two-hand reverse dunks down as a grade 6 player, the next year after she signed up. So, back to the footwork thing. The dance class, I was happy to hear that. She came in with the base, knowing how to move her feet with good footwork. And
Gabe, a little excited there, runs in. Knew it was off the shot, and yeah, that footwork is important. It can change everything.
Ever so important. Even like hockey players, hockey coaches.
The moral of that story is if you're listening at home, take a dance class.
Yeah, I was going to say hockey coaches like their kids at a young age take figure skating. Become better skaters.
Dexter Strickland.
Sometimes kids are afraid to go outside their comfort zone, Stacy, and sometimes those other things, cross-training, if you will, can make the huge difference. One of the other ones that can be huge is flexibility in basketball, and are you willing to do a little bit of yoga? You see a lot of performance trainers using yoga techniques to gain flexibility for players, and it makes a huge difference.
Oh, you see a lot of stretching and stuff here. 20 minutes of stretching before the Mill Rats actually get into any kind of a conditioning warm up at all. And young kids at home, get in the weight room. Get in the weight room. You want to be a better basketball player? It's not getting to the courts and getting 1,000 shots up. It's not doing your ball handling. It's get in the weight room. You need to do that stuff, and you want to be a better player. Get in the weight room. Get yourself stronger. It's going to make you quicker. Muscle mass is going to provide more oxygen in your body, and you're going to have more stamina. You're not going to get bumped off the ball. You're going to be a better defender. You're going to be quicker. But get in the weight room. Get yourself stronger.
I don't know if we saw that last defensive play, but we saw Anthony Anderson on the floor 3 times, and then he still got a tip. I know it ended up with a good bucket from Granado, but love to see that hustle. Guys on the floor. And again, we see guys chirping.
Hey, it's the playoffs, so we got tempers flaring here. Guys are is a little more competitive.
And I'd like to know why he wasn't teed up. We saw Garius get teed up for the same sort of stuff in the first half. Why are we not seeing a technical right here?
Yeah, I am not sure. I'm not sure what went on, what was said.
And then we've got a timeout here.
Media timeout, referee says. Just call him that one on his own. Get your players settled down. Call him the media timeout. Coach McKeskey all the way to the other side of the floor.
I don't know how you can't call a technical on one of them. I mean, again, that's what you did in the first half, right? You set that precedence that this is going to be a technical foul. Why is it not a technical there, Stacey?
I'm not sure. Maybe they were saying, "Hey, what's going on? What are you doing tonight after the game?" kind of thing. I don't know what was said. Referees were pretty close. And I think.
Body language wasn't telling me what are you doing after the game. It might have been when you're going to meet me in the tunnel after the game.
That's right. But I think referees got together. I think they probably missed the initial whatever it was that started all that, and then it was just a couple guys having words. Do you assess 2 technical fouls? Nobody gets free throws, or you just say, give a stern warning, guys. That's enough. Any slightest little thing from here on out, and we're teeing you up.
Yeah, there's nothing more I hate than the double tee.
Yeah.
Somebody started that.
Somebody
started that, Stacey.
And
it seems like the referees never see who started it. I hate the double tee. I can't stress it enough. Hate it.
Oftentimes,
it's a cop-out.
Oftentimes, the referee sees the retaliation, not the initial whatever happened. And
it's just a cop-out. Someone initiated that. Get together, decide who did it, and give them a tee.
Yeah, so no tees, no harm done.
Just media timeout.
Media timeout. Moncton basketball, 61-50 with just under 6 minutes here to go in the third quarter. Folks, if you're just joining in, Stacey Atkinson, Chris Woodside here in St. John, New Brunswick. Game 2 of the best of 5 series. St. John took the first game up 1-0, looking to keep home court advantage by a win here tonight.
One good thing we'll look for here, Stace, is in the first half there was that little scrum, and instantly the Mill Rats went on a 19-6 run to put themselves up. So let's see if they are energized again to push up. Oh, in and out by Johnny Mayhane.
In and out, and James Justice, running the floor, finding the open guy, and bang, just like that. A 3 missed by Johnny Mayhane in and out, and a 3 made by
Van
Moncton.
Zandt.
6-point swing there. You miss a 3, they make a 3, and it's an 8-point game.
But again, that was a perfectly run fast break, right? It was a secondary fast break. No to run to the corner. Geez, that's a new move from Stover. I don't know. We've seen him with the dribble, a drive, attack, turn and go.
Well,
and again with a great pass.
The rule of thumb as as a player, as a coach, you want to tell your players if he wants to close that gap to less than half an arm length, then you go by. You haven't used your dribble, go by. Stover showing some ball handling skills, and like you said, a nice little pass to Anderson. Now you're seeing this. You're seeing the switch. You're seeing the pass fake. We talked about that before the game. Guys just don't pass fake anymore. Stover pass fakes, throws the defense, and
goes in
to the rim
with authority.
Goes to the rim. Yeah. If they want to keep throwing aggressive double teams at Anderson, when Stover sets that screen, get him the basketball and let him make a decision to drive, or if they close the gap, it's got to be from a defender from a three-point shooter. Find that shooter and knock one down.
Stacey, how much do you think this added aggressiveness tonight from Stover has to do with just getting a little more run in the first half and knowing with Gabe out, I'm going to be, one of the options. I've moved my number has moved up the line on what it's going to be called. We got a little dancing going on right here between Freeman and Granado.
Freeman wants to stay with Granado. I would go the other way. Why line up with their best?
I think Granado wanted to stay with Freeman. I think that was he was trying to get away from him.
Yeah. Well, the defender has the choice of where he wants to go. So.
And Granado says, "I'm going to follow you." Again, he's one of those players that will definitely get under your skin if you're the opponent.
Oh, you like that though.
Oh.
You like that, and I wish we had him on in a Millrass uniform. To be honest with you.
I'll take the big fella guarding him.
Oh yeah,
I'll take the defensive player of the year.
I like to have them both. Yeah, off of Martin's leg, out of bounds. Does a good job of stopping that fast break though, and to keep that a 9-point game.
We're seeing all sorts of variations out of this diamond on the baseline out of bounds. Earlier in the game and often all season we see them run the triangle out of bounds with a series of different screens. Today we're seeing a lot of this diamond with some different variations and getting some good looks.
Yeah.
I've always said, to me, the sign of good coaching is how well teams execute their set plays. Because that means we've practiced it and our team knows about precision and how to execute a set play.
Right. You can have 1,000 plays, but if you don't run them properly, if you don't read the defense properly, if you don't set screens properly, if you don't know how to come off of screens in the 3 different ways you need to come off a screen, then it doesn't matter how many plays you have. If you're not running them right, if if you're, for example, you're getting a down screen, if the defender comes to the middle on a down screen, then you need to fade to the corner. If he follows you on that down screen, you need to curl to the middle. And the Millrass do a great job of reading screens and reading the defense and making those plays work.
Well, and that's one of the other things I love about how Coach Spahn does those baseline out of bounds. When you use the same setup, now you allow, and again, he may call some of this, but a lot of times you see the players making a decision based on how the defense has guarded them. Yep. All right, I'm going to do the screen, all right? I'm going to do the backdoor. This time I'm going to screen away from the ball. This time I'm going to go ball side screen. They make those decisions as they're getting ready to play. And
yeah, exactly. This is the play that we screen here, we move here, whatever. But you have to read the defense and you have to make the necessary changes and take what the defense gives you. And like you said, a result of good coaching. You get players to do that. And
well, it makes it tough to defend because you're like, okay, last time they ran a back screen for Gabe, so this time I'm going to stay with that back screen. Well, this time we're going to run a back screen, and then we're going to screen you again, and we're going to get an open look for Anthony Anderson. Or this time we're going to set a double screen for Doug Herring Jr. What do you do as a defender? So I really like having those same sets over and over again. And another hard foul on Doug Herring Jr. It seemed like he's gotten hit in the head 4 or 5 times today.
Yeah, well, nothing called there. It was Ricky Bolte gets his big mitts on the ball and forces a jump ball, possession Mill Rats.
And once again, you see Garius up, kind of upset it, guys. Stop hitting my player in the head, man. Like, that's my teammate.
Yeah.
That's my teammate, man.
That's my teammate.
Like T.O.'s famous rant about Tony Romo. That's my quarterback, man.
Yeah. Wow, great look. Finds the open Chris Smith. Couldn't get it to go.
We'll take that type. And Doug Herring Jr.
Wow. They're calling no basket. A very late whistle said Doug Herring Jr. hit his arm, caused that ball to come loose, laid it in. The only bad thing is that he caused it to come loose, laid it in, and then the whistle was blown for the foul. So no basket. Doug Herring Jr. stays an 11-point game, 64-53. I think the right call, Chris.
I think it was the right call. It was the right.
Yeah, sometimes, I'm a big believer, and I don't care if it's a late call or not, as long as you make the right call.
The tough thing is when you make the late call, it sometimes looks like it's the wrong call.
Right. Crowd gets upset.
Because everyone is so used to making that quick read. It's one of the things I really like about soccer, right? They have the play-on rule to give you a chance. So you're not looking for the whistle right away. You get used to just playing without it, and it's because they're playing advantage, disadvantage. And then if the advantage doesn't show itself, then they blow the play. And I kind of like that. And probably wouldn't work so well in basketball, but I like it in soccer.
I've been to many NBA games and D-League games, and one thing I noticed with the officials, it's not that split-second call. It's the foul happens, and then sometimes a full second later, as much as you've seen there on that late call, they blow the whistle. And they get themselves out of that habit. Like I said earlier in the game, if you don't make that call that split second, then the play's in your mind as a referee, the play's over, and now you can't make the call. They're so used to making that delayed call that they're giving themselves a full second to think about it, and then they're making the right call.
So you see there Dexter Strickland trying to get the foul, jumping in. Keep yourself off balance. He got himself a little off balance, and that allowed it.
And
Gabe
Freeman knocks the 3 down.
11 points here in this third quarter.
He's doubled his series average.
Well, you knew that Gabe wasn't going to stay quiet all series.
No.
And not that he stayed quiet anyway.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Gabe.
And we're still looking here, 69-55. Mill Rats up. Not necessarily advancing the lead, but not losing any of it. So what you like to see.
Wow, what a great drive. Couldn't get it. Yeah, I got him with the foul. I'll say if Doug Herring Jr. shooting an air ball and a layup, something happened there.
Well, you say that, and I saw 2 of them the other night in that San Antonio, Oklahoma City game. Yeah. Fast breaks, Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green look like third-grade layups. I'm not sure what happened. Maybe the ball slipped out of their hands.
Yeah, lost the game by 1. But have you ever seen that happen before? The guy that's out of bounds reach across the line and give you an elbow in the chest and then pass the ball in?
No.
Talking about that San Antonio game, but in the same play they missed 4 jersey grabs, so I guess it all evened out. So
white violation. That was a violation the other way. Moncton player was in first.
Yeah, it might have been some little disconcertion, maybe faking that you're going in and.
You see Genty out here laughing. He knows he was in first. Doug stayed back. 70-55. Wow, great finish right there.
Wow,
Tyrell Tate.
Doug Henry, I thought, draws the contact, no call. But,
I think the
don't
official
hang
probably
your-
think he created the contact there, so we're not going to give him that call.
Yeah, but don't hang your head, and you hang your head and you look up, and the other team's 5 steps down the floor. Timeout, Coach
And
Spahn.
Coach Spahn, says, hey, you know what? Let's take a time to talk about it. All right, we've been a little sloppy here. Let's have a chance and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, Moncton goes on a run. It was 70-55, and all of a sudden they close the gap to 10. And let's Coach Spahn, let's stop a little momentum and talk about some things here. Probably address, guys, play the whistle. You don't hear a whistle, don't hang your head. Don't pout, don't sulk. Make it up on defense. You didn't get a call, so what? There's been everybody on the floor hasn't got a call at some point in this game. Bust your butt down the floor.
Absolutely. And I think we should talk a little bit about offense. Hey, how are we going to do this? We're going to run. You see Volsey very animated in the huddle. Very animated. Coach Spahn staying relaxed, but Volsey is very animated.
Coach Spahn's always relaxed. Always has that really calm demeanor. He'll get mad, and he'll show that anger side of him when he needs to. Whether it's a call in the game or a play in the game.
I always have a great respect for coaches who are able to maintain that even keel demeanor. It's an emotional game. They care about it just as much as the players do.
Oh, definitely.
And to be able to maintain it, knowing that you are the captain of the ship, and look, I'm not saying that's the right way to coach. There's different ways that work. You see animated coaches that have won titles, won tons of games. They're in the Hall of Fame. You've seen quiet coaches that can.
You see Phil Jackson sit there with his legs crossed all game, win tip.
Right.
Get 10 or 11 rings.
So there's not one right way or the other. But I always really, have a great respect for coaches that can maintain that cool composure all the time.
Yeah. Well, what I like about with Coach Spahn is it keeps his players calm. No matter what the situation, he stays calm. His players stay calm. There can be a press. There can be a lot of pressure. They don't turn the ball over. They don't get excited.
And we talk about finishing quarters. Just a little bit ago, St. John was up 16, and a little 8-0 run here by Moncton has got it down to 8. Finishing those quarters strong is really important. And this is kind of what you were expecting yesterday. You kept waiting for that run. I could hear you, watching at home. I was waiting for it. You kept saying, 10 minutes to go in the fourth. It's not over. It's not over. And
you kept waiting for that Moncton run because we've seen it so many times from them during the year.
And we're just seeing them right now, hanging around.
Now Chris Smith getting a much-needed basket for the No-Rats, stops a 7-0 run. And Moncton looking to close this quarter with a bucket here.
That's a guy who wanted the ball in his hands.
Yeah, couldn't get it to go. And 72-62, folks, here. End of the third quarter. Mill-Rats up 1-0. Took the first game 126-98, but we're seeing a different Moncton team here tonight, Chris.
A much different team. Just bringing a different defensive intensity, taking some pride on that defensive end. It was like it was a layup line yesterday when I was watching at home.
You're exactly right. That's a good way to put it. It was, I go back and watch the game and see how many 1-0 layups the Mill-Rats ran in, and at one time there was 3 guys, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Any one of them could have taken a layup, and the closest Moncton defender was 20 feet behind them.
And the other thing we're seeing is they're running them off the three-point line or just running at the shooters as well. Yesterday a lot of open threes, especially early on, allowed this St. John team to get in a rhythm and knock down, and you see they finished almost 50%, 15 for 31. Well, today, shooting at 30%. Not knocking it down with that same thing. It's their average, what they're normal.
Yeah.
But you've got to play that defense, and that comes on that defensive end here from Moncton. So
what I like from the Mill-Rats is that some of their losses during the season were they weren't hitting the 3. And they weren't finding other ways to score. They had a bad shooting game for 3, they lost the game. Now they can have a bad shooting game for 3, and they can still win a basketball game because they're driving to the hoop, they're finding Stover or Boldsey inside or Gaden inside, and they're finding other ways to score.
I really like this. I like the aggressiveness I've seen from Stover this game. The offensive aggressiveness. He's making really strong moves to the hoop, making some great passes. We always know we can expect him for rebounds and block shots, but when he plays aggressively on offense, and it's a thing of beauty. It's something we look for every game. Sometimes we're pulling our hair out, where is that offensive player? But he has it in him.
Yeah.
And he's doing a little dancing to Michael Jackson.
We got a little Michael Jackson going there. I remember when he had just a monster game on the offensive end there was a Michael Jackson playing before the game. He was dancing, and hey, maybe that's why they played it. Hey, so
well, look,
10 points out of Stover.
You were just talking about it earlier, coming out loose. You can't be any looser than Stover is right now.
Moonwalking to Michael Jackson. Well, 4 players, Chris, from the Mill Rats in double figures. Mayheim with 11, Freeman with 13, only 3 in the first half. Anthony Stover with 14 points here. We talk about offense going on. He's already got it going on tonight. 9 points from Anderson and 12 points from Doug Herring Jr. Moncton really playing well here. Caused 5 turnovers from the Mill Rats in the third quarter. Only 4 turnovers in the first half, and right on cue, they throw the ball away on an inbounds pass.
Well, and that's one of the things I talked about there at halftime. Turnovers are a key for this Mill Rats team, and they can keep it down, keep it under those double digits. They're a tough team to beat because they're going to score. But if you're giving the team looks just like that, we're sitting here, 6-point game, 72-66. And the fourth quarter has been trouble all year, Stacy. Getting outscored pretty significantly in the fourth quarter throughout the season. Been their worst quarter of the year.
Yeah, it has. Fourth quarter has been their worst quarter. If you can graph it, it's on the downslide on the graph for sure. We have offensive foul. Stover stood his ground, took the elbow to the chest, and unfortunate for Moncton, he made the basket, but he cleared some space. He knew he had to there.
Yeah, it was tough to see from me from here. I liked the move. That's what I want to see from my guard. He gave an up fake, got Stover straight up, and then he went into him, and probably the right call that he called him off. But what else are you going to do? If he doesn't do that, he's getting blocked.
Yeah. Well, unfortunate for Brandon Kearney, he just gets his hand caught in the cookie jar there.
We almost had one of our 2-point passes there. For those at home that don't know, any turnovers right up top that lead to easy dunks, I like to call those the 2-point passes.
The 2-point passes for the other team, yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Geez.
Wow, that's one of the 2-point passes, Chris.
Yeah, it really is,
Oh, great up fake by Martin, and gets himself to the free throw line. Well, you got a shot blocker. You don't just fade away and shoot leave that space between you and a shot blocker, because he's going to block your shot. Martin does a smart thing, gives him a little up fake and steps by.
Go back to that last 2-point pass. I don't think that's on Stover. That's on Volsey there. Look, Stover's going to screen away to get Anthony Anderson the ball.
Well, see me, see you.
What are you doing throwing your 7-foot, I know he's 6'11", we'll call him 7-foot here, center, the ball out there when you got your guard, going to your guard. Got a rebound off free throws.
Cardinal sin and coach's nightmare in basketball. You've got inside position, it's a free throw, and you give up an offensive rebound. Good defense, Anthony Anderson. Yeah.
And just getting an update from the other game being played, Halifax against Island. Island lead 86-82 with 8:09.
8:09 to go.
So Halifax has closed the gap there, taking it from a 16-point lead down to 4 with 8:09 to go.
Well, momentum to Halifax, definitely. They've got it to a 4-point game, and his teammate smartly hauls him away.
Genty did a great job there. He saved his team in a technical because the officials have dealt with a lot today. They don't have much left. Do you think he'll watch to see if Chris Smith puts his elbow into him?
Delay a game. We've already had a delay a game warning. in the first half. A second delay game is a technical foul, but not calling it.
And Coach Spahn is smartly pointing that out. Like, how is that not a technical foul? They've already had one delay of game.
Wow, some dangerous passes, aggressive defense here from.
St. John is just not handling the double team well, like they did in the first half, right? The first half we were seeing other guys make themselves available. They were passing out of the double team, swinging it side to side, getting open looks. Now they're allowing themselves to get stuck in the double team.
Well, how you can negate that if you're Coach Spahn is you put that unit in like you did last night with Chris Smith, Famotini, Anthony Anderson, Doug Herring Jr., and throw a big in there, right?
Well,
Freeman in there.
I would go away from the ball screens and start working some more off the ball screens, maybe double screens, curls, hammers, and flares, and move the ball like that.
You move the ball around the horn like that, and you find your 6'8" three-point shooter with a high pocket.
Look,
he's going to get it off.
If the other team is saying, hey, we're going to double team, we're not going to allow you to get off these screen and rolls or the ball screen high, well, use their aggressiveness against them. Make them guard some other stuff.
Double dribble. How many double dribbles do you see at this level? Probably
not a whole lot.
Probably the third one all season, I think. Well, Freeman was set to check in the game. Coach Spahn calls him back, and
I guess he decided he liked what he saw. He was a little upset, and then ball moves around. Wilson gets an open three.
Yeah.
All right, never mind. You can stay in this way.
Well, it's hard to sub out the guy that just makes a shot. and another shot.
And it looks like
we got Martin to the
Mike
floor.
Martin. I think Volsey on his drive got an elbow to the face.
Yeah.
Unintentional. Just part of the drive.
I didn't see what happened there, but
Coach Spahn runs right out and gives him a tap. I think he got a elbow right into the noggin. And good show of respect by Coach Spahn to go out and say anything. And then same thing back with Martin. You see Volsey as well. In a game that has been very heated, it's good to see that type of sportsmanship.
Yeah, good sportsmanship and.
Yeah, I think you see there, just got an elbow right to the nose.
Yeah, we got a technical foul on Tyrell Tate. I'm not sure what was said by reaction to the elbow. It wasn't anything intentional.
He might have said something to the officials like, "Hey, this guy got hit in the face.
Yeah.
Why isn't there a foul?" And I'm sure there might have been some expletives included in that.
A couple adjectives there in that.
Stuff we're not going to repeat here on air.
But if you listen really closely, fans at home, you will hear the fans directly behind us, who don't have that filter that we have to have.
At home listening last night, Stacy, I heard the fans sometimes better than I heard Zach and George.
Yeah, that little bit echo in their mics last night. I'm not sure what was going on there. Hopefully cleaned up here tonight.
I really don't like that screen and roll when you're already on the side. Because you already have the defender to your right being out of bounds. If you're going to use that ball screen, use it in the middle of the floor so you can go both ways. You can go away from the screen.
A good defensive set there from Moncton. Milrats just showing a little discombobulation here on offense. Couldn't get anything going, and Chris Smith just smartly threw the shot up there because there's only 1 second on the shot clock. But
it's easy to look at the game without knowing anything, just seeing the score and say, the Milrats aren't playing as well offensively tonight. Well, no, Moncton is playing much better defense.
Much better defense. Yeah, you're right.
They are hustling there. Again, the trap is something we weren't seeing. They're getting back, not giving up easy buckets. And on the offensive end, they're rebounding harder, which is not allowing St. John to just leak out.
Say Freeman and Famotini into the game. Famotini, as we mentioned pregame, had a heck of a game last night. 21 points off the bench. Great defense, 4 rebounds he had, and spectacular job as an extra ball handler out on the floor.
(80-71), 7:31 to go.
And as we do every game, Chris, I want to welcome everybody from around North America and around the world that are tuning into this broadcast. I know you all have these young men on the floor on these teams, coaches, et cetera, have brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, grandparents, and friends.
Absolutely.
That are watching them play. So glad we can bring you this YouTube broadcast, and you can. You live in California like Anthony Stover's parents, or Nevada like his grandparents. You can tune in and watch him play here. And
Mama Stover is listening in every game. She interacted with me a little bit last night on Twitter. I had one tweet during that double block charge. She was a fan of that one. Anthony Stover with the double block charge.
Yeah. And nice defensive set there from the Millrats. A much-needed defensive stop. Get the turnover.
Sometimes it's tough to decide how much of it is good defense and how much of it is sloppy, because that play there looks sloppy.
Sometimes a little of both.
And St. John has looked sloppy. And again, I know that a lot of that is how hard Moncton is playing to force them to look sloppy, but. Passes like that when you throw it at someone's foot, that's just sloppy basketball.
That's Michael Jordan pass. We talked about on the way up. If there's 7 seconds on the shot clock, I swear.
I don't know if you heard. I don't know if you heard MJ's speech when he went into the Hall of Fame, but he remembers everyone that said anything about him. Yeah. He's coming after you now, Stace. He talked about Brian Russell telling him, Brian Russell, I'm coming after you any court I ever see you at. Well, guess what, Stace? If he sees you, he's coming at you, and he's dropping 60.
Yeah, but he's wondering what I said. I'll explain on the way up here. We talked about I used to rewind game film, and in that triangle offense we talked about, if there's 5, 6, 7 seconds left on the shot clock, and here you're talking the best basketball player ever played the game, and not even arguably really, throw the ball at Scottie Pippen's feet or throw the ball at John Paxton's feet. So by the time they gathered, the defense closed, they had to pass it back, and Michael got to shoot the basketball. That was always when I used to rewind tape, and I used to show buddies of mine, and you can't tell me he can't hit that guy in the hands from 15 feet away, throw it at his feet, so he can't shoot the basketball. So
we've got ourselves a game here. I'm not sure about that. I'd have to go back and see the tape myself. I guarantee you, Michael would tell you that wasn't the case.
There's a lot of people.
Maybe Scotty might say it is.
Yeah.
So 6 minutes to go, 80-74. Be interesting to see. This is a different lineup. We haven't really seen this lineup with these 5 guys. Famutini, Freeman, Stover.
We got some guys that can play some defense.
Absolutely. And that's the thing with Coach Spahn. He mixes and matches his lineups and kind of a feel. Guys usually get their minutes, whatever their average is. But he's going to roll with what's working and
who's playing well.
And so right now that's what this group is. But I imagine that we will see Chris Smith again before the end of the game. But it's really also matching up with the other team right now. So other teams got Granado in. We're going to keep in Stover. Great defense again from Moncton. I mean, I think that's 4 straight possessions where the shot has come after 5 seconds or less to go. And as any of our fans that have watched a lot of games, the Millrats are kind of a 7 or second or less offense normally. They want to get the shot up quick and fast, and to keep them have 3 straight possessions where shots are in the final 5 seconds, that's great defense. And then you see good execution on the other side.
Down to a 4-point game here with.
I don't know why they don't go to Granado more. He is so strong and so big on the offensive end. I feel like he's a guy that should be getting 15 shots a game at least.
At least 15.
And we're seeing some one-on-one basketball again. One-on-one, dribble, fire up a fadeaway. This isn't the play that's going to get St. John to victory. it's not even the play that got them their 16-point lead, Stacey, you know?
No, definitely not. You know, tons of assists for the Mill Rats in the first half.
And Granado again.
Stover gets that outlet pass up the floor.
And one. Doug Herring Jr.
Wow, much needed basket. Stop the
He is able to finish in so many ways, Stacey.
Yeah.
Absorb the contact. On that one, he absorbed it. Had full extension arm, flip from,
you'll see the replay right here. Takes the contact and gets the bucket to go. You know, we talked earlier. We wish a lot of these highlights would go on TSN sometimes, and that would be one right there.
That would be a highlight. Great finish.
You're not going to beat him in a game of horse. Yeah, him or Anthony Anderson.
Well, you know, and those are things he practiced. It's not like he just woke up today and said, I'll finish this way. He practices that. I'm going to finish from all the way out here. I'm going to finish from in here. I'll finish in this angle. Like, people at home, you want to be a good finisher, you need to practice finishing.
Brandon Kearney with a big three. Gets that back to a 2-point game.
And this is the type of game we expect with these teams. Anthony Stover playing big.
Up and under. Granado holds his ground, bumps him off balance a bit.
Well, I think that's what caused the miss. Is he was just a little off balance. I'd like to see him take another little half step and just gather himself.
Yeah. And take the lead.
And Moncton's first lead, not only of the night, but of the series.
Yeah, and Doug Herring Jr. attacking the bigger, slower Granado, getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line.
And Doug's going to have to keep up with that. I talked about earlier, free throws can come back to hurt him. Already in the first first three quarters, St. John missed 9 free throws, 20 for 29. That's 66%. Coach Mokeski not happy.
Happy. Gabe's, had a few words for Tom. I'm sure it was, there's some pretty hard fouls here tonight, buddy. That's, let's keep it in check here.
And another missed free throw. Look, that's 10 missed free throws for St. John tonight. That's going to be huge in this game.
Yeah, that might come down to winning or losing this game here.
What was a strength at the beginning of the year? We talked at, I remember one of the first 5 games we did of the year, we said, you're not going to beat this team late because they don't miss. They were shooting 80%. And now that they're shooting 65, 66%, they're a vulnerable team.
Wow, an extended lead, 87-84, just like that, folks. Moncton has come to play basketball tonight. They're getting it done on the defensive end of the floor.
Well, and we're seeing sloppy play from St. John.
Yeah, causing turnovers like that. A little discombobulation on the offensive end for St. John. Not getting those open shots. Not running as smoothly as they were last night.
Well, and one of the things you're seeing is that you're not getting the help from, other places tonight.
Yeah.
Last night, as you mentioned, Famutimi, 21. Tonight, 1. No, if I'm reading correct, 0 points tonight from Famutimi. So small things making a difference.
Wow, that was in and out. The big fella with the offensive rebound, imposing his will down there, imposing his strength. And shoving Stover underneath the rim. The only rebound you're getting there is the one that goes in. He gets the one that comes off the front of the rim, and I was going to say he gets him to the free throw line, but referee calling foul.
Calling on the ground. I think that's correct. I think instantly Stover wrapped him up before he could get up. Good call.
Yeah, so a 3-point lead here, folks, for Moncton with just 3:11 on the clock. Mill Rats need a stop here. Don't want to find themselves down 5 with just a few minutes to go.
No, absolutely not.
More. It's not like there's not enough time left, but psychologically.
Great defense there, forcing again a wild pass, and that's what you got to do. Put some pressure on guys. Force them to make decisions. Force them to make plays that they're not prepared to do. And they're calling an offensive foul there on Gabe. Illegal screen. Coach Mokeski here with a timeout. 87-84. I mean, what are you going to say here, Stace? Came into this quarter, 10-point lead, 72-62, and it's been all miracles, really.
It has, and really stepped it up on the defensive end. Got physical, a little more physical than what they already were, and it's paying off with them.
Well, and I said it at the beginning, and maybe I jinxed us here, but the fourth quarter has always been the worst quarter for this Millrats team all year. They've been outscored over and over again in the fourth quarter.
You almost hope they're up 20 going into the fourth
because you're going to need the cushion. And,
you need that cushion.
I don't know the reason for it. I don't have a good answer for you. My guess would be, you look at the rotation late, maybe guys are a little more tired. Maybe they get tight.
Sometimes often you see teams with a lead, with a 10, 12-point lead, and maybe it's 8 minutes to go in the game. You almost start playing not to lose. And instead of continuing to do what you've been doing, what got you that lead.
And Coach Vaughn subbing out Stover. Stover on the sideline, not happy about it.
I don't like to see that. I like to see him say, okay, we're down. We're putting a three-point shooter in the game.
Look, it's okay to not be happy. You should want to be in the game.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You need to support your teammates.
Yeah.
And so coach is making this decision, and don't let other people know that you're upset. Save that for after the game in the locker room. So let's see what happens with this group. A smaller group, quicker group, maybe some more shooting on the floor. Coach Spahn thinking the last 3 minutes we need to look to score here.
Wow, great
finish from Strickland.
I was going to say great defense, help defense from Freeman, and he makes a top shot.
Very tough finish. And not a lot of movement here from St. John. You see four guys standing around and watching.
You see some one-on-one and four guys towing the three-point line, looking for somebody to draw their man so they can get a shot.
You want to look for a reason why they've lost this lead. They stopped playing team basketball in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
They stopped moving away from the ball. There've been a lot of one-on-one individual offense. Everyone's standing around and watching. And they go back and watch the tape.
Ricky,
wow.
Well, I watched that. That was Ricky Volsey had all ball. Wow, all ball, and gets called for the foul. Actually, I think he might have called it on Doug Heron Jr. Yeah, it was Doug Heron Jr. 6 fouls, not in the bonus. Sideline out of bounds, Moncton. Only a minute 43 here to go, Chris, and find themselves down 5. Can't give up a basket here.
After being up 10 to enter the quarter. Got to play tough D right now.
Now, and the ball in the hands of offensive foul Granado.
Volsey down there doing everything he can.
I think Volsey was holding on to him, and he just shed his arms, and it looked like a shove from Granado. And
well, you look at Granado.
Play.
Granado's a strong man. he's a mountain of a man out there.
I said, they ever make a remake of Rocky IV, he could be the Russian in the.
And right there, that's the second time I've seen Doug Herring Jr. pass up what I think was a good look.
Yeah.
To try to get it to Johnny Mahane, who didn't necessarily have a better look.
Yeah.
And I know we talk a lot about getting that better look, but sometimes you can be too unselfish. You're a good shooter, Doug. You shot 5 for 7 last game. Take that shot. And I'm not sure he even eyed the rim there. I think he just was already thinking, this is going to swing. So a minute to go here. Got to get a stop. Dagger.
Wow.
Just an absolute
Brandon Kearney.
Dagger from Kearney.
Finding themselves wide open here, Chris, in this fourth quarter for 3-point shots, and a lot of times during this game. Like you said, Dagger, 92, went from a 10-point lead Millrats to down 8. 18-point difference here in this fourth
only
quarter.
12 points in this quarter scored by the Millrats. And again, it's been individual offense.
Yeah, it has. Like you said, we've seen the ball not moving on the offensive end. We haven't seen players moving. A lot of one-on-one at the offensive end of the floor. You can say great defense, Moncton, or you can say really poor offense, St. John. A little of both, I think. 18-point difference here, 18-point swing. Down 10 to up 8 for Moncton with only a minute 7 on the clock.
And for me, look, obviously you never want to lose your game at home. You want to keep your home court. But one of the bigger things is I'm not really enjoying the body language I'm seeing from the guys on the bench.
I'm not either.
It's not a body language that says, look, we're together on this. It's kind of a me body language out there. People feeling sorry for themselves, or I should be out there.
Well, and I talked about that last night. It was a lot. One game you can find yourself not playing very much, and the next game you can find yourself playing a ton. It's just because at your position, this guy is playing extremely well, and I'm gonna, coach makes a decision. I'm gonna keep him in the game, and you have to realize that, as the season goes on, that your services aren't needed one night, but really needed another night, and wow,
just not able to finish there. A couple tips, try to keep it alive.
Yeah,
Another thing, you look up and you see, 92 points for the Miracles. Most nights, if you play defense and keep a team under 100, especially for this St. John team, you're going to win the game.
Yeah,
right? They're so good offensively that you would be able to. But what we're seeing is when you force them to start playing, more individual basketball, you can hold them to 84. Right? 84 is not going to win you any games in this league.
And, what was that? Last night, 126 they scored, and tonight,
42 points less.
42 points less. I was thinking 32 was too much. Holy jump, it's 42 less than what they had last night. Like I said, again, you have to credit Moncton's defense. Obviously, a team scores 126 one night on you, and you hold them to 84 the next night. Hats off. You've done a great job defensively. You have stopped that team. Not only stopped them, but you stopped them in the fourth quarter. You both scored them by 18 points here in the fourth quarter.
And this gives you a lot of confidence going into Saturday. So now here, Moncton feeling really good about themselves. You had an opportunity to put them down 0-2, and instead you've allowed them to tie the series at 1 apiece. And so time for you to regroup. Off day tomorrow. And I guess a minute ago, I shouldn't already say that it's over here. We did see just the other night in the Toronto game with the Heat, 6 points in 13 seconds. Toronto came back. So I guess I'll hold my tongue here for a minute.
Well, you definitely need to stop here. You need to stop. You can't let a lot of time run off that clock, that's for sure. Yeah, you can afford to be very aggressive defensively. And
travel
where, I say very aggressive defensively, a lot of body checking, forearms there, but nothing. Disadvantage.
The idea is, you need to play tough defense and maybe foul. If the ref doesn't call it a foul and it works out in your favor, then good to go.
Then you need a quick score here if you're the Millrats. Freeman looking to just not able to finish, and one.
And gets never quit on that play. Kept going back. I mean, his first jump took him 2 feet out of bounds, and he got back inside and right up.
Well, we've seen the substitution made. We've seen Granado go out of the game there in the last possession. I really thought he's been the guy that's been anchoring their defense down there for the Moncton team, and that stuff wasn't happening. The tip-ins and the follow-ups and the drives, the deep drives like you just saw with him in the game.
Well, I think it was a little offense-defense type transition. You probably thought St. John was going to foul, so you put in a better free throw shooter.
Get him back in, definitely.
And so this didn't end up being an opportunity.
So plenty of offensive Yeah, so quick foul in the backcourt. You put him on the line. You hope he misses one or two, and you get down and score. You do the same thing all over again. Being down, if you're down 3, you don't foul. You're down 5, you can't let 24 seconds run off that clock and
make him knock it down.
Right. You got to knock some free throws. You got to hope he misses 1 or 2 free throws, and if he makes them both, you need a quick score. Dexter Strickland saying, none of that. Cowbells aren't bothering me.
Dexter Strickland has played great
21
the second half.
Yeah, 21 points here.
Absolutely taken over the second half.
Yeah, and he makes those nothing but net, not bothered at all with the time and score of this game. And,
and again, you see Gabe's not giving up either.
Yeah, thank goodness for a free throw.
Anthony trying to draw the offensive foul.
Yeah, Doug Herring gets the foul in the backcourt.
And I think Dexter Strickland's the guy that Moncton wants on the free throw line.
Yeah, let's get the ball in his hands, and he just made 2 comfortable, cool, calm, and collected free throws there last possession, and looking to do the same here again.
We need more cowbell.
Yeah, that's not even coming close. That's a 9-inch ball and an 18-inch rim, and there's 4.5 inches of space all around that basketball when that ball's going through that hoop.
Yeah, that's it can't get any closer than that. I mean, that's as good as it gets.
Smart play by Moncton, up pressuring the ball, not letting them get from point A to point B as quickly as they can. And a big three here from Volte needs to go down.
In and
out, just rattled the rim. If that one went down, Chris, they've got a chance. But now they're down 3 possessions with only 16.8 on the clock. You knock a couple free throws down here, and you definitely have the ball game if you're Moncton.
And so I think when they go back and look at this tape, they're going to say, what happened to the movement on offense?
Yeah.
What happened to the off-ball movement? We just kind of we got stagnant.
Yeah, it was. You're right. It was really stagnant. It was.
How many backdoor cuts did we see in the first half? I mean, every possession.
It was like looking at a frog pond, and all the lily pads just as still in that pond, and nothing moving at all sometimes on offense. And
Doug Herring Jr. is a great player. Anthony Anderson's a great player. Basketball is a team game. You can't just sit there and watch a guy and say, I just hope you score. And so now we got a series. It's a 1-1 series.
It's 1-1. Moncton takes over home court advantage with the win here in St. John. 97-89, folks. Moncton gets this game, ties the series 1-1. And
absolutely.
Saturday in Moncton for a game 3.
In Moncton, and any fans interested in going up, I know they're selling tickets with a bus ride included, everything $45. You get tickets to the game. You hop on the bus right here from St. John. They'll take you to Moncton. We could use as many fans. We see right here, Moncton fans have got 50 some odd fans here. It'd be nice to see us have even more up there in Moncton there on Saturday. Saturday and Sunday, back-to-back games in Moncton, Game 3, Game 4. And we'll see if Game 5 is necessary back here on Tuesday night. I'd like to see us just go win 2 in Moncton.
Yeah, win 2 in Moncton, get it done. But the way Moncton here plays here tonight, it's back to a series, Chris. If you watched the game last night, 126-98, you thought Moncton doesn't have a chance. This is going to be 3 games and done, but played extremely well. Down 10 to start the fourth quarter. Outscored them by 18 points in the fourth quarter. Like you said earlier, the fourth quarter's been the Achilles heel for St. John all season, giving up most points and scoring the less all season long. So Milrat's looking to change things. Spawn's a smart guy. He's a smart coach. He's going to come out and he's going to study this game film. He's probably going right home now, and he's going to watch this game. He'll probably watch it 5 times before he goes to bed and see what he needs to do on Saturday and in practice tomorrow.
Well, and I don't necessarily know they need to do anything different, but they need to go back to what they do right. They need to execute what they do right.
Yeah.
Because that is what makes this team special. We talk about moving the ball. In the first half, they had 12 assists. How many did they end up with?
They
ended up with 18. So only six assists in the second half.
Yeah.
Huge difference there.
24 points from Dexter Strickland. Knocked some key free throws down there towards the end of it. 17 points for Brandon Kearney. 13 points for James Justice. 11 for Tyrell Tate and 10 for Thomas Granados. So 5 guys in double figures. Nobody with over 20 for the Mill Rats, not like we had last night. We had 3 guys with over 20 tonight. Gabe Freeman with 18, only 3 in the first half, had a great second half. 11 for Johnny Mayhane, 14 for Anthony Stover, 11 for Anderson, 16 for Doug Herring Jr., and 12 points for Ricky Volsey. So, folks, Stacey Atkinson, Chris Woodside, broadcast. Hope we're still on the air. You can hear us. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we'll
hopefully not see you on Tuesday because
hopefully it's over.
It's over and we've won.
Yeah, but go up there and split, and we'll see you back here on Tuesday night.
Absolutely. Thank you.